Alright, hello everyone, let's go live. Let's go live and get ready for the finals. Yeah, live on Twitch, live on YouTube. No webcam because I literally rolled out of bed, took a shower, got a coffee, and now we're ready to cast. I'm fresh out of the shower, nice and clean, ready to get going. Let me just see, are they playing yet? Okay, don't see them playing yet, so we didn't miss anything. We're good. They're all good. It looks like Nilly isn't online, so we're gonna see what we can do with casting here. Woke up and let's go. Adam, hello Adam, what is that? Pew pew pew. Is that like a generic Twitch thing? Do I have that? I do have that. I don't know what that is. G Grady, hello, hello, hello. Do we have drafts or anything? I don't know what's going on. As I said, I literally rolled out of bed from casting the Brazil LAN last night to cast this. I do have that one. What is that one? Oh gosh. That is an emote. No, Swiss Bola. And reminder, if you're watching on Twitch, you can watch in 4K on YouTube without ads. I'm going to play an ad to get them out of the way, so apologies for the 3-minute ad, but you can always hop over to YouTube if you want to see my loading screen without the ads. So is there still like a show match going on? I thought they were starting. The dashboard keeps giving me a start time, and now it says they're starting in... Okay, now it hasn't changed again, okay. So hopefully we're good. And we got Titans League the rest of the day after this. Do I want to cast Titans League? I don't know. I've also heard you can hear it when I open and close the Dunkin' Donuts coffee on the microphone, so we'll deal with that today too. Also, look at what I did, okay? This is... I got my overlays set up. So we're good for the Civ draft and the map draft. Or the map draft and the Civ draft. I think I tailored this perfectly, so it's nice and centered. All the information's there, all the picks are there, it's set up on everything's the same size. I'm happy with that. We got... They delayed the start time by 30 minutes when I saw 7 a.m. then 7:30, so I'm like, oh, I'll set up my overlays and take a shower. And I think that worked out. Adam, Dave, Ayo, hello. Who is that even in the emote? Is that Dave in the emote? Yes, it is. So what I also have is, let me know if you can still hear me if I swap. I'll swap in 90 seconds when we're done. I also have a clean feed of the event, and I don't know which I'm going to use. I think I'll just spectate myself. I think I'm going to prefer spectating myself rather than relying on the observer. And that way we have higher quality for YouTube too. So I haven't really been casting too much of this. I had hoped to cast Rex during the week, but there were TTL and Stronghold Frenzy going on, and I figured I might as well cast that since everyone else was casting this and make sure everything gets covered. And I think that worked out decently enough. I could observe myself and use player cam from the feed. Ooh, now that is an idea. I'd have to like do some cropping, right? That's an idea. I would need to set that up once we get into the game so we have the player cams. And hello, Edrex. So that would be me putting the browser source on top of the capture age source and then cropping the cameras and then duplicating the source to have cameras in different spots. So we could potentially do that. Do we really need the player cameras though? Maybe we do. I think Mem did that. So we'll have to pay attention to that and see what's possible. I like that idea. That's why we have a Twitch chat. We have people who can think for us. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna swap over to the clean feed. I'm just gonna want to ask you guys, is there audio if I swap to it? Can you hear this? You probably can. Yeah, there, Hera and Louis. Oh, they have a draft? I didn't even see the draft. Wait. There's the draft. That's what I get for taking a shower. Alright, when they get into the game, I'll swap and do the cameras and do some editing. It might take me a minute to do the editing, so apologies for that, but I think that'll be worthwhile to do. God, AV2CM looks to be down. Go down on me. Greetings, Dirty Squirrel. Let's see, there we go. Hera on the left, Leary on the right. We got the maps. The website's loading in. Look at that. There we go. Now we got the animations. Website was maybe getting too much traffic for a moment due to the people looking for the LAN. I don't know. Anyway. What is this? Is this Kid 12? Yeah, that's me when I was a child model. Let me do some quick thinking on my part. Oop, wait, hold on. I wanted that to be there. Copy and I paste to this scene. Make sure that this doesn't have audio. Just take the audio off of there. Okay, here's my question, chat. Here's my question. All right, I'm gonna do some editing. Do you hear audio if I go here? Oh, hold on. Okay, so you don't hear audio because I got it muted down there. Okay, that's good. And do you hear audio if I go here? Do you hear audio now? No, you don't. Okay, maybe we do this without audio. That's probably the best. You hear clicking, you hear music. Okay, as long as you don't hear the audio from, like, I don't want to duplicate audio when I go to capture age. And yeah, so what we're gonna do here, copy and paste that. One of these is gonna be Leary. One of these is gonna be Hera. And when we get into the game, we will organize everything. You're an American guy talking. Sounds like what you should hear. Alright. Now we'll go to the scoreboard, wait for them to get started. Just normal AoE2 things. And then get into the game. Oh, they are in the game. We'll have a short spec delay. Short spec delay.
Yes.
You don't hear anyone talking? Oh no. Is the streamer muted? Hopefully Reaper doesn't mute me again randomly. Okay, here we go into capture age. And time for me to... oh gosh, what's that? What's that color balance they have? Alright, time to do some cropping. Alright, chat. Hold on. Gonna do some cropping here. Here we get just Leary's camera. Zoom in myself. Here we go. And it's like pixel perfect on the sides. Okay, I got Leary there. And then we go over here, now we get Hera. What's the story about Hera getting mugged? I heard that he, like, almost had someone mug him at the event. Like, and he ran into the woods and Hart had to rescue him. I heard that was a thing. Okay, you come over there, there. And him down just a bit there. Alright, now the problem is we are blocking the chat. So we'll have to take both of them and elevate them slightly. Where are we at? Group. Player cams. Into there. And then elevate them just a bit. Oh look, the LY Cup logo behind Leary. This, I take this. Where do I put this? Do I need this? We know it's the LY Cup, right? Is it better not to have that? Maybe it is. I should elevate this just a bit more. Alright, I think we're good. Is this good, chat? I think this is looking pretty good. Maybe I gotta make this slightly higher for Hera. I just keep separated from the chat. And let's go. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, Dirty Squirrel, let's not talk about alcohol and drug consumption in the chat. Alright, and Carv Gustavo, hello. Thank you for the follow. We are very close to 14,000 followers. You might hit 14K this stream. We're at 13,966. We'll see how many people watch. Anyway, now that we have the cams set up, we have, oh wait, here's a question. Should I have the mouse cursor on top of the cams or below them? I'm guessing on top, maybe? Yeah, let's go with on top. So we'll have Hera as the blue Berbers to the south, Leary as the yellow Saracens to the north, 2 camel civs. This is the $50,000 LY LAN, the LingYuan LAN being played live in China, I believe in Beijing. And this is the grand finals, the 2 players you probably expected. I mean, the top 4 is Viper, Yo, Leary, Hera, as you might expect. And Leary beat Yo, Hera swept Viper. Swept the washed up old man Viper. I can call him old because he's only 1 year older than I am, and I'm old too. Yellow? What about yellow? Oh, what is yellow? Leary's gonna be green. He's gonna change his color constantly. I think blue versus green is usually what I view these players as playing. Finals already. It was 1 week. I didn't really do too much casting of it because the game started at 1 a.m. But they just played 2 best of 7s, and now it's 7:30 a.m. for their start times, and I'm awake and ready to cast. And looks like Leary has the advantage in the scout HP, trying to trap Hera's scout and use his villager if he can. Hera trying to escape, but the vill gets a hit, and down it goes. So Leary, with 1 HP, will win the scout fight. There's an audience, I'm sure they're cheering now. And hi, Anthony, how you doing? Disgusting micro, feels like you're watching ladder. Hey, Leary's not someone who plays the ladder. Let's be honest, Leary doesn't play the ladder. Oh, look at the willow trees. I like the willow trees. So again, this is the map. Look out, it's a custom map. You start with a mule cart, regardless of your civ, and a watchtower, and a barracks, and an army tent. So a bit of a twist on the 9-vil start. Not all of your 9-vils are under your TC. I like it when maps do that. I like it when they have a bit of a different start. And Bisham the Warrior, hello. How you doing? Late last night into very early stream. Well, late last night, I mean, I went to bed at like 10 and woke up at 6, so I did get like a good 8 hours of sleep, almost. I'll cast this, and we'll see if we cast TTL after this. There's more to cast today. So I still have other work I want to get done, but we'll see. As I said, I'm writing some like intro programming, algorithm, data structure notes. I want to have some fun with that. It's an early market. He is Saracen. Saracens will go for the early market. So Leary loses his scout, but Hera, only with 2 HP, won't be able to do much other than scout with that. Which I guess is what the name implies it should be doing. Hera will be playing William Wallace and knocking down that outpost that he sees. He knows what to do. And Spear Villager coming over to hit the scouts. Spear wants a good poke. And over farm coming up for Leary. Spear chases the scouts around. And right now, Leary full walling. So I think Leary feels like he's in full tournament mode, walling and playing defensively, and trying to sneak some archers forward to kill the bear. Needs to use the palisade to hide the bear corpse. But the hard thing about this map is your opponent does indeed have outposts everywhere, but maybe, just maybe, Hera has a bit of a blind spot here. I see he is walled down there at least, so the archers won't be able to get in uncontested. Trying to sneak around. Hera will have to notice them if they try to get through the TC. Maybe they can hit the berries, but he has so much vision he's not worried about getting attacked. Although on the left there's a sliver of black area, which Leary could sneak, but not heading that way, heading to the east. And it will be Castle Age clicked first for Hera. Leary won't be too far behind, especially as the Saracens, but not quite there on the food count yet. So, archers sniping off some vills. And gate going up as the vills try to run away. And hello Helios, how you doing? So yeah, the archer's actually getting quite, as you say, quite off guard, getting in on the berries. Even with all the outposts, wasn't quite ready to deal with them, but with the skirms, he will be ready. And he's up about 90 seconds faster to the castle age than Leary is, and still doing some damage with that hoovering scout, hitting the Vil on the straggler. So Saracens Berbers, in all my experience with camel matchups, I feel like cheaper camels is better than extra stats on the camels. So I honestly favor Byzantines and then Berbers in the castle age as far as a camel war goes. In the late game, it's a bit different when you start getting extra upgrades on top of them, but more HP for Leary. I feel like I still would prefer the matchup for Hera here. Also have to remember that kind of interesting unique unit situation where the Mamluks for Leary don't do any attack bonus against the camels. They have an attack bonus versus Cav, but not versus camels. So camels usually are a counter to Mamluks, and Berber should do that well. However, Mamluks also, I think, would be a good counter to camel archers, against which they should do bonus damage, if I recall correctly. Maybe I'm wrong about that, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, camel archers do have extra range and can micro. Maybe check and let me know about that. How did Viper and Yo do in the semifinals? Viper got swept, Yo lost in 7. So probably what you'd expect these days. Genitors. Ooh, I'd like to see some Genitors. And he's doing them. Oh gosh, he is doing Genitors. Trying to clean up Leary. Yeah, that's it. I think Mamluks might also have a bonus against Cav archers. I'm not sure. We'll need to see a camel archer. We'll need Hera to make one for us to see what they count as. And then we'll need Leary to make a Mamluk. Then we can check the stats. And hello, Mr. Dutt, how you doing? How is it? I have all text in English because Nilly was using the clean feed. He was using the observer point of view and casting from that. I have Capture Age open myself and I'm casting myself. And all I'm doing with the clean feed is using it for the player cameras on the sides. The monk wants a conversion on a camel. What is the difference? The difference is he was, people at the venue have a stream, and Nilly was taking that stream and casting that stream. I am doing everything here myself. I'm spectating the game locally on my computer and watching it here. Okay, ooh, okay, Workshop Leary from his lookout point has forward vills. Will use them for some forward workshop, or for forward workshop and forward mangonels. So here come the mangonels, ready to fight the genitors. And mangonel shot Harris, it's not one to take a mangonel shot to the face, but camels should be decent against the genitors. Now Berbers, Berbers actually surprisingly have good monks, but no sanctity, so mangonels will one-shot them. Even if they have redemption, mangonels still should be decent at countering the monks, as long as Leary gets his shots off in time. Only mangonels indeed. Leary pressuring, and behind the pressure, he's adding in a second TC. So far, only a 4 Vil difference, Hera on 3 TCs, so he will pull ahead in Vils, but Leary will at least keep it close as he gets the second TC behind this. Maybe tricky to afford all this, but so far it's working out for him. What he doesn't have is a repair villager, and Hera going for a workshop of his own. Looking for husbandry, and losing some houses. He actually is fairly badly housed right now from Leary destroying those houses. That'll hurt when you're trying to outboom your opponent and trying to get units out. Feels like it might be good for Leary to be able to hit that workshop. I'm still worried about the lack of a repairville. But a 4th mangonel on the way. They're queuing the mangonel, and he is housed. He's still badly housed. And that being housed has delayed his mangonel. He still needs another house. He's on his way up, but being housed for so long has delayed mangonels. He's got 2 queued. He has resources for them, but doesn't have the housing space. Using your houses as walls can backfire sometimes. Crossbow's there to deal with the camels, stop them from picking off the mangonels. Yeah, there's one mangonel starting to go down. Gets the shot on the monks, and that's what I said. No sanctity. Berbers do not have the greatest monks. And where I said I liked Berbers in camel versus camel matchups, that was not including other unit compositions, of which the Saracens probably a bit more versatility. And let's be honest, crossbow, not a trash unit like the genitors. So Hera forced to repair his workshop to try to get mangonels out. But Leary has applied a ton of pressure and kept the res collected score pretty close. He's a bit down in Vils though, but he's able to add his 3rd TC now. And he will have a slightly worse economy, but lots of map control and forward pressure. And if he's able to take out the workshop, that would be amazing for him. But a mangonel pops, can he get 2 for 1? No, can he get 1? Ooh, it doesn't go down. And he dodges, and the repairville's there. Oh, don't get hit. Nothing gets hit there. And he gets a good shot, doesn't hit the crossbows though. Leary continuing to push him with camels. He will be under 3 TCs. Hera loses the mangonel, and he's at risk of losing the workshop. Another couple of volleys should do it. And Leary needs to finish off the workshop. If he shoots it, it goes down. And, 11 HP, and a mangonel pops out on 11 HP. It goes down, but it clears a mangonel, and this one's very low on hit points. And clears another mangonel, but the genitors get it. Oh, if Leary had just shot that instead of the genitors, he'd have destroyed it. 11 hit points. And the mangonel pops out, and now everything's cleared. Hello, Tundra Blitz. Oh, that's a really cute hello emote. Referring to the one on the left. Looks nice too, though. Our 4th TC from Hera. Okay, looking to pull ahead as the Berbers. Remember, they do have the cheaper stable units, so you can go 4 TCs into a really good spam. And hello, Susie, how you doing? Town Watch on the way for Hera. Bloodlines on the way for Leary. Leary still with a score lead, but it feels like Hera has managed to stabilize. That 11 HP left on the workshop and being able to clear both mangonels was so clutch. And I still feel a bit skeptical that Leary never had a repairville on those mangonels, and at no point was he repairing them. And Berbers burgers. Next time there's an Aussie tournament, Berbers burgers, we should cast the finals. That'd be fun. If you ever do get that Dream Australia land, maybe. Yeah, monk's going down. But as I said, no sanctity. So 1 HP. 1 HP is all you need, but not in the face of a mangonel shot. And Camel's gonna take out mangonels here. Only 1 crossbow to defend it. I worry that Leary wasn't prioritizing keeping the mangonel alive. Once he hits the camel, Mangonel goes for the range, and wheelbarrow on the way for Leary. Just got home from work, might watch a quick 4-0. If you want to watch a quick 4-0, go watch the Hera Viper semifinals. Kid bullies old man. Mangonel goes down. So Leary keeping the score close. They flip now. And Hera is slowly but surely taking an eco lead. Up by 1k res. But Leary's still within 10 vills, within striking distance. Hasn't full committed to this. He's been booming behind it. Mop up all the janitors. Hera's like he's playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and he's spamming that higher handyman button right now to get enough janitors. Not gonna have any vomit on his footpaths. We're copying messages. I have had copy paste fails in the past, that's okay. And if only your keyboard would copy paste sub gifts. That's what keyboards really should do when they mess up. A monk here healing camels. They're wanted to bite the Vil. It's cleaned up by the janitors though. How wide is his monitor? You wanted your guests to be happy? I actually tried to play the game to win the game. That's what I did Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. I played every single scenario and won it. And that was back in the original version when you couldn't do the speed up winning thing like you can in Open RCT 2. Subgift denied from bank. Did I log on when Nilly left us? Yes, Nilly. I don't know why Nilly left. I don't know what Nilly's doing. Actually, he's German. He's probably closed on Sundays. So, Imp on the way for Leary, but faster for Hera, as he's getting Thumb Ring on the way. And ooh, we might finally get to check those Camel Archer stats. They're in the castle now, and I can't click on them. Oh wait, I can. All right, let's see that armor. So Camel, Cav Archer, and Mamluks will not have the Cav bonus against them. So maybe Mamluk's actually a horrible choice against Camel Archers. Not sure there. I'll need to check their attack against the Cav Archer class. There's some family plans, okay. So, ooh, 1 HP villager from Hera gonna do an outpost. 1 HP is all you need. Survived against that melee camel. And ballistics on the way for Hera. He's starting to pull ahead and score, but only a 10 vil difference. And now you get to the point where you think about which of these saves is better late game. Berbers will have good trash with the Janitors. Neither civ has Halb, right? So Hussar raids become important when gold runs out, as the camel civs rely on camels to stop them. And Berbers will have fully upgraded Hussars that are discounted, minus 20% in Imp. Saracens will also have fully upgraded Hussars, but no bonus for them other than maybe the market bonus, helping them pump them out more. And Finky, thank you for the follow. And hello, Catface. Well, thank you for watching. See, also no crop rotation for the Saracens either. That is there for the Berbers. So I feel like if this goes super long, maybe advantage Hera. He also is up by 1 relic, 3-2. And good. That's true. If you go CA Hussar, the problem is you're against Camel Archer Hussar, and the Camel Archer should be a bit better. Oh, thank you for the follow, Catface. And Finka. As I said, we're very close to 14,000 followers. We need 31 more followers. We're at 13,969. I know that's a nice number, and you might not want to break it, but I appreciate the follows. So, castle gonna appear on the hill for Leary. Camels keep running around. I mean, I think Hera demonstrated in that ACCM game that lasted 4 hours how good Cav Archers are in the late game. But, yeah, it might not be the answer for Saracens. Now we need to see some Mamluks, and I need to know what their armor class is. So, Kaspa and Maghrebi camels, healing camels, and faster working castles. Reverse order for Hera, doing the unique techs. And heavy camel and bracer on the way. Question then becomes, how do Saracen heavy camels do now? If you get to 200 pop, you will have much more HP on your camels than anything Leary can field. and no pikemen to counter them. You're relying on the camel archers and micro. Well, camel archers are insane and can be microed incredibly well. So on the side here, still have Hera, nothing really out there, just an outpost. On the right. Oh, Leary, what did he do? He walled in one of Hera's golds with some houses. He's laming the golds. He's laming the golds. If that were stone walls instead of houses, it would probably be more effective, but Hera is going to throw down as many stables as he can. And then the question is, what does he do from the Berbers? Cheap stable units, so Camel, Cavalier, Hussars, all options for him. Against Saracens, Hussar will be the trash unit. Camel's probably more preferable. It might be heavy camel skirm here from Leary. Going for the Byzantine late game composition as the Saracens there, and there's heavy camel for Hera. So he will be trying to go cheap camels against significantly better Saracen camels. Why is he not making trebs? I think the answer is he's not confident he can defend them right now, and he doesn't want to push yet. And also it would interfere with the camel archer production. I feel like Hera, maybe he wants to make sure he gets to a critical mass of camel archers as fast as possible, and will be content defending until that happens, hoping that he still has a bit of gold control he can play with until he gets to that point. Well, let's actually see here. He only has 2k gold in these 3 mines, and the rest of the map has been lamed over here by Leary. And if Leary can hold this hill, he basically controls the map and stops Hera from taking gold. And if you're forcing then the Berbers to go full Hussar at a point when you still have heavy camel, oh, you're living the life. He's pushing in. Camels will have at least an attack bonus against other camels. These things do not count as cav. But camels should still be decent in the fight, especially with a few skirms behind them. And castle being pushed. How did that treb go down? What the heck? Did a bombard cannon that shot it? Anyway, that treb went down somehow. Hopefully we didn't delete it accidentally. Alright, cannon. Hera trying to deploy cannon. He himself will have better cannon. Also better trebs if he does counterweights. And Hera doing a castle, but what does this castle not do? Give him any gold control. Only these last 3 tiles of gold he's been mining. Leary pushing in. I know he's down in score and down in res collected, but let's see how this fight goes. Let's see how this fight goes. Can Hera pump out enough to take it? He has a good mass of camel archers, and this is what he gets from not making trebs. He has more camel archer numbers now. And he can rely on cannon instead of trebs. And hello, Noob Netrum. I mean, maybe he has cannon. Maybe there was a cannon that got destroyed and picked off a treb. I didn't see it. Leary, maybe he needs to be repairing the trebs. Maybe he needs to be repairing the trebs. He snipes the cannon. He gets the cannon. That'll keep the trebs alive. He needs to repair before he runs them, though. Don't let the camel archers pick off the trebs, Leary. Ooh, sloppy from Leary, not repairing in time. And now the trebs are packed, so they'll take more pierce damage. And only 1 treb escapes. I feel like if he were repairing properly, he'd have gotten all of them out. But Hera, with all those fights, has a better KD and is taking the score lead. And the thing about having this number of camel archers is you don't really need gold now. If you can keep them alive, you can spam Hussars. What does Hussar spam do, though, against camels? Last furnace on the way. He's trying to get another castle up. That'll take these two extra golds into his control. Siege engineers on the way. You say GG when it is GG. And this is what you can't do right now. You don't have a way to engage the camel archers. Wonder if maybe heavy siege could be an option for Leary. He does have siege onager. Counterweight siege onager. And Hera will use the camel archers to try to deny the castle. These Saracen camels with 30 hit points more than the Berber ones. But the Berber ones do heal. Hera trying to do his final attack upgrade. Skirm's getting on the camel archers. Hera concerned, though, only with denying the castle. Camel archers so tanky, even against the skirms. Leary will take a decent fight there. Clear all of Hera's camels. Hera's continuing to pull ahead and score with a better KD. And with this castle now has some gold access. Out castle, he will get it up, but yes, at the cost of quite a few vills. I mean, both players, 140 to 155 vills. They have some vills to spare in these castle fights. Leary could maybe amass a few more trebs and go for this castle over here. And he keeps sniping castles. That's camel archer production he's denying, but 5 castles so far for Hera. Taking another fight with camels. Hoarding's on the way for Hera. More HP for those castles. Yeah, I guess that's true. He's sacrificing vills for Hera's camels. Must be a long game. It's 44 minutes long already. I guess that's normal. Mamluks are needed. The problem is Mamluks won't do bonus damage to the camel archers or to the camels. Only to the hussars. Oh, thank you, David Agretchel Zwei, for using your Prime sub. Thank you very much for the support. How can you have such an efficient economy? He's had more vills for a long time. My thoughts on this matchup would be the Saracen camels would need to take good enough fights to overcome the eco difference at this point, or to overcome the camel archer difference. It's weird because I feel like camel skirm is the best combo for dealing with camel archers, but it still doesn't feel good. Maybe if you could get Arbalest instead of Camel Archer, that could be nice, because then he wouldn't, he'd have a better option against Camel Hussar plus Camel Archer. Let's see, Saracen Camels still, they're taking the hill, pushing this back. Maybe we'll keep the castle up. Hera, though, finding more gold control. Yep, camels and camel archers do not count as cavalry, they only count as camels. So all the bonus attack that the Mamluks would get against Cav does not apply against the heavy camel or the camel archer. So useful against the hussars, but heavy camel itself usually is a counter to Mamluks. If I recall, that was one of the old, oh yeah, look at all those HP bars stack. That was the old longest, or long tournament game, that Oasis game from the ECL, where there was some Mamluks involved and heavy camels and Teutonic Knights to counter them. Yeah, this is like the closest thing to Mangadai, right? No attack bonus versus siege, but close to it. And look at all the resources Hera is floating, right? You can see that in the res collected difference. Lyri's trying just to stay afloat in these fights. Hera has stockpile. He can push and he can lose units, and it's still good for him. So there's herbal medicine and masonry on the way. Herbal medicine to heal the camels. Ooh, that could be an interesting fight. You cancel masonry? Yeah, you definitely could use masonry and hoardings. Oh, there's masonry, just finishing. So more HP on the castle, just a bit. Push this back again. And he's keeping the KD close. As long as he can keep the KD close and the castle up, he's fine. A few hussars going to come raid, but they will be chased by camels. Lyri will get walls up. Oh, what is Hera doing? Hera's sneaking 2 trebs to the side. Lyri has not noticed this. He has not noticed this. He's worried about the hussar raids. And they'll be taking out one of his castles. Sneaky from that lookout position, going for the castle. Lyri just now notices to repair. 9 vills, not going to be enough to repair against 2 trebs, but the camels, they keep the castle up for long enough, he'll be able to snipe off the trebs. And now Lyri at home. For the most part, he's walled. A couple hussars get in, but he chases immediately with the camels. No worries there, and he will pick off 2 trebs. At the same time, he's diverted a lot of his units to chase those raids, and that's going to let Hera come forward with the bombard cannons. And now, with 5 cannons, he's in a better position to push the castle. I'm trying to be number 1 with nearly no effort. I can easily be number 2. Oh, castle goes down. Camels pick the cannon. And the rest of Hera's cannon continuing to shoot at the camels, but he accomplished what he wanted. Took out that castle. And managed to keep walls open somehow for more raids. You'll have to wall that up. Build counts dropping for both. Not too bad, though. 120 is still sustainable. Keep your army pumping. Gives you a bit more army population. You're keeping the KD close. On the side, controlling a gold. Camel archers, so much HP. They're stacked up. Hard for the camels to take a fight. Nearly had better have gone off because he's fixing the pathing even more. Let's see how this does. The camel archer number is starting to dwindle. Lyri coming around with another group of camels from the back. The cannon are out of position, but camels themselves not enough attack to take out the cannon. These are not cavaliers for sure. I mean, Mamluks could be useful, maybe just for taking out cannon. This is where I feel like the Arbs would even be a better option than the Skirms, because you take out Cannon too, right? Like, Arbs kind of help against everything. Even though Cannon can snipe them off, they can still return the fire a bit better than Skirms can. Was there a break? Yes, there was a break of like an hour or two in between. They definitely should have swapped the semifinals, though. Should have anticipated Paris sweeps Viper and doesn't need as much of a break. Leary's still holding his ground, and he's closed the KD up quite a bit. But Hera continuing to increase his score lead. Oh, the mule cart walled in. There's a palisade wall still there. And once again, Hera, well, a sneaky little treb going for this castle. Trying to hope Leary doesn't pay attention. And Leary's pop now has dropped. His pop has dropped, and he is suffering from the lack of res collected. And Hera finally managing to take a fight and overwhelm him. Guild's on the way for Hera, getting ready for the long game. He has crop rotation. Maybe the advantage that Leary would have would be two-man saw, but doesn't have that. And the right to play first by finishing first in the group stage. Oh, so that's how they decide it. And to think like 2 years ago, Viper was doing the same, right? That was like Hidden Cup 4. His dominance has been very, very, very short compared to the reign of Viper for 10 years or so. There's GG from Leary. Can't hold it now that he's out of resources. And that's 1-0 for Hera. That's 373 kills. Yep, crowd cam. I'll just look at the stats. You know what? Are they going to look at stats? Then we can maybe do a crowd reaction. Maybe we care more about that than stats. Clean feed. There we go. Oh, look at Leary. Look at that face. That's the face of a man who didn't have crop rotation. Yes, you can say GG now, Red Cliffy. Julia Circle. Doubt will be back on top one day. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Doubt is eternal. He will outlive Viper. Alright, just to make sure I don't have ads during the games, I'm going to play an ad on Twitch. Like I said, if you want to watch on YouTube without ads, that's an option for you. Early resign? That's no early resign. Maybe also, just so I have my scoreboard updated, I can go over here. Well, I think we'll go to the other one for the cameras. So that's a win for Hera. And on the maps, that'll be Hera wins game number 1 on Lookout. And for the civs, that will be Berbers winning over Saracens. I guess we'll just go to this scene in between the games. El single Mamluk. Well, that's what we were talking about. I don't think Mamluks really help out against the Camel Archers. I guess... I think Camel Archers have a bonus against the Mamluks, which should be Cav Archers. Or actually, no, Mamluks can't be Cav Archers, because then Skirms would have a bonus against them. I guess it's just 2 units without bonuses, then. I wonder if Arbalest would have been a better play for Leary. I feel like the big mistake, though, for Leary was a combo of not having a Repairville for his Mangonels in that push, and that one moment when Hera's Workshop had 11 hit points, popped out one more Mangonel, and then went 1 for 2 to clear all of Leary's forward pressure. If he keeps 2 Mangonels up, and Hera doesn't have a defensive Mangonel, then his pressure does a lot more damage than it even did. If they really want to spruce it up, they could do some sudden death at some point. I feel like Leary didn't make good use of the Saracen area healing. I really don't have a feel for how strong that is. I didn't even see if he got the tech. Welcome back, everyone, from the ad break. Just waiting for them to get into the next game. And looks like it will be not Nomad. So I'll do the same thing we were doing. We'll do the clean feed between the games. And we'll do capture age during the games, I think. And here they go. I like the font. Oh, sorry about that. Had a bit of a transition there. There we go. Alright, so we'll have Leary as the green Dravidians, his TC to the northwest and his dock to the west. Hera as the blue Bengalis, his TC to the northeast and his dock to the east. Now, I did, so Trezini did the map pack for this, and there were lots of people who did custom maps, but Trezini wasn't available for a week or so, or like a week or two ago, because he was, I guess, probably busy with Red Bull stuff. So I made a few small edits to maps, and this is one of the edits I did make where I added a guaranteed fish near the dock. I think Zetnus also made a edit like that. I'm not sure if either my fix or Zetnus's fix was used, but this is it. There is a fish that is guaranteed to be next to the dock at the start. Some players were saying it was unfair. One player gets a fish, the other doesn't, but now they're guaranteed to have a salmon. A lovely salmon. T90 would approve. Yeah, Helios, I'm probably not going to use that. I'm probably going to look into making my own extension at some point. Thanks for the guaranteed fish. Thanks to Heavenly Chorus for asking, and to whoever complained about it to him. I did not nerf Hera, no. I edit maps for these kind of tournaments? Yes, I do. I'm editing the TTL ones for right now, both for the Bronze League and for the ones we have next season, and also going to do the Brazil LAN ones for the summer. And as I said, made a couple of small edits to a couple of these. If you see the maps played, I'll point them out as we go. Yes, I do. Area healing is 75 HP per minute or in a 5-tile radius. For 30-40 units, it could potentially be 2,000 plus HP per minute. Right. I wonder if I could have the extension also, like, give me more information if I hover over stuff from Capture Age. I probably could. I'd probably need to read the screen and grab from Capture Age. Maybe one day we just need to get our own Capture Age that works properly on Linux and is, like, more extensible. Kind of like, there's definitely like an anti-cheat thing where you need to make sure there's a component that is closed source, but then maybe like make the UI open source. Oh, you know, that's interesting. If I had a second screen open and had my own stream open with the thing to check, I feel like that would be maybe a bit disruptive for the stream though, because Capture Age kind of flickers when I alt tab. Someone say GNU/Linux, or as I like to call it, GNU plus Linux. You get your memes in the chat. Get your memes in the chat. Just curious how the payment is calculated. Honestly, I just tell people to pay me whatever. It's usually a few $100s for events, depending on how big it is. If I were to charge like I did for programming, then they'd be paying me more for the maps than they did for the prize pool. So this is more just I do it for fun. Bike shed about the pro? What do you mean bike shed? I don't understand the term bike shed. Is that, do you like have a shed where you keep your bikes? I don't know how that would correspond to a conversation. For my personal stuff, I usually use Rust. For professional stuff, though, you kind of can't escape. If you're doing any type of web stuff, you can't escape the horrors of JavaScript. Bike shed is yak shaving. I've never shaved a yak. Although I do have an uncle who owns a cattle ranch. Who has to maintain the cattle. I program in the RMS configuration files. What color of paint you use for the bike shed? What do different colors mean about bike sheds then? Let's go, Leary. I would love for Leary to pick up a win. We have Feudal Age on the way for Hera, Feudal Age for Leary, a bit faster. So Dravidians, Bengalis, Dravidians, of course, the great Nomad Civ, even though it's not Nomad, because you start with the extra HP from the dock, get off to a really smooth Dark Age, and get your fishing economy established a bit faster. We see him benefiting from that, 9 fishing ships to 6, and also up a bit faster. Bengalis will have a great economy with their extra vills, and then also have the threat of the Ratha. However, the one thing that does counter the Ratha, perhaps the one unit in the game that counters them, not monks, not even fire lancers, but the skirmisher Dravidians will have faster shooting skirmishers. Plus 25%, they attack faster. Late game, if we see elephant archer versus elephant archer, that could be cool. What time is it? It is 8:23 a.m. And hello, Paradox. Is Paradox waking up at 7:23 then? To watch some LY Cup. Loom on the way here for Hera, and Market going up for Hera. Blacksmith going up for him too. You're the same time zone? I thought you were Central Time. Did you move to Eastern Time? Oh, see, David has the explanation for me. Okay. As we all know that the bike shed color should be cyan. Central is another bit left. Okay, I thought you were more Central. I used to be Central years ago when I was in Wisconsin. I'm back east. I like the East Coast time zone. So more walls from Lyria, trying to stay walled up. At least it'll keep the Rothas out if Hera does get them pumping right away. Both players straight to the Castle Age. And on the water, not much going down. No one going for any sneak forward docks, content just to fish boom themselves and defend themselves. Okay, next patch we will see the Hulk on the water. But for now, just fire galleys, and demos. It's great for AoE, I agree. You don't need to stay up late like the Europeans do. If you wanted to cast 9 to 5, it's perfect. If you want to like cast like after work though, then Europe's probably better. All depends on how you can manage your schedule. So Castle Age first for Hera. We'll see if he's able to get some Rothas out. It'll probably be next year, but they're going to have the Thalassocracy Cup, where they showcase it. So Hera up to the Castle Age, immediately does a TC. Right, so he's not mining stone, not going to go for the Rothas. And what is Lyria going to do now as Dravidians? He's adding in War Galley, looking to win the water and control the fish. Push Hera off the water. Hera has to react with War Galley himself, or actually collect War Galley himself first. Feels like Lyria has a bit more presence on the water, though. Ideally, he'd wait for War Galley to come in before using the demo. Maybe you just take the best hit you can, though. 10 seconds. I don't think you want to use it yet. Yeah, he's going to pull it back. Yeah, a lot of benefit from the upgrade coming. There we go. Now it's a demo ship. Lost some HP. But if you can get a good hit on fires, even on fishing ships. Up in there. Ooh, almost gets a good one. But you can use it as a bit of a demonstration ship to force the fires to take worse fights, and he did that there. Eric complaining about pathing in the camera. Lyria, he's gotten to the water. He's chasing low HP fire ships away, and Hera's going to run them to lure Lyria away from the fishing ships. Lyria not quite able to disrupt the fish, but Hera needs to make sure his fires are in the right position. Otherwise, the fishing ships will go down. Fire ships destroy them really quickly. Quickly enough? Not quickly enough. Lyria will have to run. Yeah, so someone in chat called them, there was a demo that just kind of sailed around, didn't do anyone. They called them a demonstration ship. I thought it was pretty clever. Okay, the dock will block the fire from hitting the Vil. Lyria not microing properly here. And will lose his fire ship. Lyria, despite being forward so early, was not actually able to clear up Hera's fish. On the good side, though, he has kept his fishing ships alive. Needs to spread them out a bit more. I feel like the fish are very sparse on this map, on this version of not Nomad. But Hera got about the best dock he ever could with a couple of great fish marlins there. Lily, is it best of 9? I think it's best of 7. They're doing 3 best of 7s today, which is itself kind of ambitious, but I guess when you have Viper versus Hera, and you know there's going to be a sweep, it's not that bad. The PowerPoint ship. No, that's when stuff lags. The PowerPoint was like the HD edition. So Vil count's just about the same, 46 to 47. 10 fishing ships for Leary. So Leary actually a couple fewer Vils, but keeping his fish alive. Needs to make sure that they're working efficiently around this northern part of the map. And so far, no real fighting on land, just on the water. Hello, Breck over on YouTube. Then we'll have Wheelbarrow on the way for Leary. And, ooh, demo. Okay, Hera splits that. That looked like it was going to be a good one, but Hera recognized and pulled back. And Hera up in fireship numbers, 12 to 9. Leary with a couple of demos, though. Now that is a good demo. That was a good demo. Okay. Oh, Sci-Fi, hello. This could be a good demo for Hera. Ooh, a couple of good demos. My demo versus demo. So Leary's still with the score lead. Slightly more risk collected. Feel like Hera's maybe pulling slightly ahead on the water. Leary trying to repair his fires. Lots of weak ones, but same can be said for Hera. Hera manages to get a third TC added, taking advantage of that Bengali's economy. And I do maybe worry about Bengalis facing Dravidians late game if Dravidians can get a lot of skirms out. Looks like Leary will push with monks. Not the best monks for Dravidians. No redemption. Maybe this is just for relics. You hate the premise of this map. Paradox. Not a fan of not Nomad. Yeah, nerfing demos, I don't like that at all. Right now, there are two things that are fun about water, right? It's demos and it's galley micro. I feel like when they're adding the Hulk, they're basically just adding another fire ship with different stats. And that's the boring part of water. Okay, some repairs on the fire. At least the fire has some uniqueness with blocking the fire. That's about all I can say for it. Should be called Yes Mad, maybe. Also, thank you, Humble Jelly, for the sub. Nice to catch another T-cast. Thank you very much for using the sub. Or for subbing to the stream. Appreciate it. It'll be a good old Partner Plus counting sub. The demo coming forward. Ooh, yeah, it's a decent hit. Okay, another demo. They're all low. Ooh, triple kill with the demo. They're all pretty low on HP, though. They're starting to pull ahead in Vils with that extra TC he has. He's even adding a fourth TC. And boom, gets the villager. Hera finds ways to take even fights and then get TCs added. And his eco smoothly pulling ahead. Just to save time, and maybe to have a more equal map for tournaments? I don't know. There he is 5. There he is 4 mangonels and a 5th on the way. There's the 5th. And now Hera has to deal with this. Will he get the castle up in time? Will Leary see that? He sees there's a castle. Here come some villagers. Okay, there goes the Vil lead that Hera had built up, maybe. Leary trying to get mangonel shots. The monk's there to get conversions. Hera has to rush the mangonels with Vils. But there are 5 mangonels there. Hera's not going to get this castle up. He's killing 2 mangonels. He gets the right shots in. He could kill some Vils. Leary has to mangonel his own mangonels. Trying to repair. Doesn't quite get the repairs. Hera rushing with Vils. Is he actually rushing with Vils and succeeding? Lots of repairs here. And he's trapped the Vils. No, he hasn't. Leary didn't have the best initial attack rounds on all the Vils. Hera kind of trickled the Vils in, a few at a time. And he clears all 5 of them with Vils. Maybe he needed a Scorpion in the back. And he took, like, he did kill, what, 10 or so Vils there. But Hera rushed with, like, 20. So it's not all bad for him. The castle does go up, and that alleviates all the pressure. And, oh, what happened to the camera? Is that not showing the player cam there? Is there like a replay? Oh, wait, what is going on? I'm just noticing the clean feed has different things. Oh, they're showing a replay. Okay. Don't think I can deal with that. I'm trying to have the player cameras from the clean feed, but if they do replays or stuff, that'll swap over for a minute. So sorry about that. I need to look at my own screen and then look over and maybe view the replay. I have that technology, but it's not going to be automatic, so I'll need to be aware of it. And right now, with the extra TCs, he's already caught up in Vills. So with 2 extra TCs, he's made up for the Vills he lost. That's the castle. And he's up by well, he's actually down by 800 resources collected still, despite the extra Vills. And I still do feel late game Dravidian's ability to go skirms should be really good against the Bengalis. Still no Rothas for Hera. And in the meantime, feels like Lyri's still controlling water. Hera 6 fishing ships. Lyri, though, 5. I guess at this point, if you look at the water, there are like no fish left for either of them. So unless they start coming around the south, winning the water isn't going to matter that much at this point. Maybe a couple fish in the north for Lyri if he wants to keep collecting them. But it's not like someone got a huge fish boom. And a computer scientist doing something manually, it hurts. Will Lyri win this final? Ooh, I hope so. Do Dravidians get imp skirms? No, they don't, but they get faster... it's... faster attacking skirms, plus 25% faster. They throw their javelins more often. I don't want to say faster firing, because I don't think throwing a javelin counts as firing. So second castle for Hera. And I wonder what composition he goes for if not just skirms. As we have elite skirm for Lyri. And maybe he could... I'd say he could maybe open stable and go light cab, but no, it's just light cab, no hussars. And if Lyri feels like he wins the late game matchup, he at least has kept it close enough to the point where he should have an advantage there. 15 Vil difference, but the res collected hasn't been that different so far. And he will collect a 3rd relic. And no relics yet for Hera. Need a Vietnamese ally. Okay, so forward castle from Lyri. He is up first. Building a house on the gold. And yeah, we'll have 11 Vils raising the castle. And he'll make some trebs and attempt to raise Hera's castle. Problem is that Hera will have double castle treb production. Lyri will be up slightly faster. Maybe they each lose a castle. Lyri would really love to trade 1 castle for 2 here. But with production, Hera will have the advantage. I don't know if the small timing difference of about 40 seconds will be enough for Lyri. Oh, that is true. Dravidians do have bombard cannons in the long run, so if we see an instant... He's doing bracer, but if we see an instant chemistry from him, could see bombard cannons added to the fight. And maybe that's a mistake to do bracer instead of chemistry here? It might have been treb plus chemistry as the play, and then you can negate the double castle treb production if your bombard cannons can pick off the trebs. Alright, does have more stone to repair. Now he has a 20 Vil lead. Lyri maybe late adding in this extra TC. Could have potentially added them in as he was up to imp, and been down maybe 10 Vils instead of 20. Alright, he's starting to treb. Chemistry on the way. He's doing a workshop. See if chemistry's in time for cannon. They're outposting everywhere. Lyri gonna grab up a 4th relic. Hera has 1. Oh, and Hera gonna castle drop Lyri. Lyri's got a house there. Can Lyri stop this? Can Lyri notice this? And no, there's the castle. That is a nasty castle. Hera's sending an entire village. 24 Vils to raise this castle. And that will go up. Lyri still hasn't noticed it. Some light cav coming in. Hera will lose a castle and potentially lose 2 castles. But Lyri hasn't noticed this all. Maybe the light cav attacked the Vils too early. And Lyri will have to run the Vils. At least there's no ballistics on the castle for Hera and not even fletching. So these Vils should get away fairly decently. And he's going Halb. Okay, Halb after he sees the light cav. But he's continuing to push, and as I said, should be able to take out a second castle. Lost a lot of map presence, though, and Hera will now take that gold. Sick castle, but at the same time, he has to repair down here. And Lyri needs to get the Halbs in position to defend his Trebs. He's going to try to wall them off. He's missing a tile over here, but... Oh, if that gate were one tile forward, that'd be much better, but... Okay, and he's going to have to keep the gates up. If the Trebs could hit them, that could be a problem, because the light cav run in. Has to be careful if Skirm doesn't open another gate on the side. And now here are the Halbs. Halbs and a Bombard Cannon to deal with Trebs. And he has to get conversions and Halbs to try to keep the cannon alive. Halbs working on the light cav, taking some of them out. A conversion comes in. That army doesn't do the job for Hera. And Hera desperately repairing, spending stone on that castle. Lyri with the cannon, taking out Trebs. And exactly, as Hera takes gold control in the north with that castle, might lose it in the middle. And I mean, that might also open up... Now, Lyri can hit 2 TCs with his Trebs, and at some point swing the Trebs back around here to take out this castle. That's about how quickly he can do that. Alright, Trebs, you gotta pack and unpack them, can be a bit annoying. And he also needs to maybe get some Halbs stationed throughout his economy to make sure these Hussar raids don't destroy him. And he needs to be noticing the raids. Unlike that castle drop, he needs to notice this as ASAP as possible. And he'll try to run the Vils, but Nilly will have them trapped. Nope, they'll almost get out. There they go. Does at least have Bracer on the TCs for dealing with the light cav. Fully upgraded light cav, though, for Hera. Now the Halbs coming out for Lyri. You can try to use the Halbs to stop the raid. And Hera continuing to hoover with light cav. Hera going full light cav. Lyri, as I said, I feel like Dravidians have a good composition for this matchup late game. And Hera trying just to go light cav. No gold unit for him. He's got 57 on gold and he's going pure light cav. Now he's doing Bodkin and leather archer armor. That may be for Skirm. I guess Bengali's at least a better light cav than Dravidians do. That is walled, that is walled. And now another castle atop a hill for Hera, but besieged from Lyri with 3 Trebs and 3 cannon. And not enough repair Vils. Maybe the light cav can pick off a cannon or 2. Some monks getting conversions, those Skirms there in the back still, holding the line. Light cav going down, and this castle will fall. At the same time, though, Hera trying to get more raids. He is trepping the monastery where Lyri has stored his relics. And try to burglar them back to his own base if he can. Doesn't have any monks yet, but the relics pop out. Lyri's push continuing, though. He's now up by 1k score. Hera up significantly. 7,000 more resources collected. Katie looking good for Lyri, as Hera's throwing some light cav into the Halbs. Hera wants another castle drop, though. Hera no real plan in this game. I'm not sure what your plan is going to be with the Civ matchup. Right, you're not going to probably go Ellie archers against the Skirms. His plan seemed to just be boom and try to go light cav with a better eco. Lyri at least kept things close. It's the better Civ. I don't know if I'd call them the better Civ, but I'd say in this matchup, they win. Maybe there's another strat I'm not aware of that Hera could have gone for. But I feel like whatever Hera does, Dravidians have an answer to it. And then if Hera's doing multiple things, the Dravidian answer is cheaper. Because the elephant archers are so expensive. So he picks off a Treb there. These Trebs continuing, they can destroy Hera's monastery. Continuing their push. Like Cav being chased by Halbs. And we'll take out a Treb. But Hera running low on TCs. Continuing to try to push here by Lyri. These relics now in no man's land. Hera will monastery up near them. Grid Skirms hard counter everything. That is true. That is, if you're going to learn a lesson about Age of Empires, it's Skirm wins. You might hear me opening my coffee cup from Dunkin' Donuts. I'm gonna try to start drinking some coffee now. 160 Vils for Hera. Does he have Mahayana? He does not have Mahayana. So that might be a bit overpopped into villagers from him. and not enough army, especially if he's trying to get light cav everywhere to raid. Chemistry on the way. That won't really matter too much for the Bengalis. It'll help their skirms. Oh, the Treb gonna go for the university, though. Okay. Does the university get chemistry? Halbs are there. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And okay, that's gonna be bad for the skirms. No education for those skirms. No relic victory. No relic victory. It's conquest. So chemistry denial. Really important to the skirms, considering Louis doesn't even have all the armors yet. That'll help save some HP. Doing forging. I feel like maybe the skirm armor could have been good, but yeah, I guess forging for the Alps is good too. Doesn't cost gold. And okay, Hera. Hera with another castle drop that Lyri is not going to spot. Going for a castle here in the south on the TC from Lyri. Over on the side, the cannon continuing to push. Lyri just driving right to the coastline, going to split Hera's base in half. He takes out this gold mine. With Woot Steel Light Cav? Are Woot Steel Light Cav better than Bengali Light Cav that are fully upgraded? They don't have bloodlines, but they don't have the final armor. They will ignore armor. They'll be much more effective in attacking. I guess maybe against skirms they're worse, but against melee units they're better. That's what I'm gonna guess. Hera trying to steal those relics. His burglary attempt will aim for a second. And return it successfully to the monastery. Halb's hot on the heels of the monk, but not there in time. Winning with a worse unit. I mean, he's winning with Dravidian skirms. That's not a worse unit compared to anything other than maybe Imp skirm or cheap Byzantine skirm. Okay, cannon picking off Vil. So these cannon kind of caught in no man's land here, but at least they're getting some Vil raids. Skirms and Light Cav will pick them off, so that's the end of the cannon dance. But Treb and more units coming forward for Lyri. Castle drop from Hera in the south annoying, but Lyri with a castle atop a hill may construct more trebuchets and prepare for a siege here. He really needs to notice this. But he's taking out the castles in the north. Has 3 cannon firing away at it. Which civ is the worst light cav? Teutons. Nah, Teuton scouts are probably better than some light cav. It's probably Vikings, because they lack husbandry, as well as bloodlines, as well as the armor. Dravidians at least get husbandry now. There's a point to building their stables. I mean, Koreans get hussars at least. That's true. Maya must have the worst light cav because they don't have redemption for converting stables for Shalot warriors. They can't even get stables. So I guess that has to be the award. Even worse than Aztecs and Inca. They can't even get a stable to think about hussars that they can't train. Right, remember that one game where Dave caught like a player converted an archery range? It must have been like at the same time as someone else was spamming create cav archer, and the Aztecs ended up training a cav archer at an archery range. The Maya can't even get some type of DE bug scout trained at their stable because they can't have redemption to convert it. So yes, Maya have the worst light cav confirmed. My mic is frizzing out? What do you mean frizzing out? Is it okay now? Sounds fine? Okay, maybe it was David's sound. Legendary Aztec cav archers. Really weird to talk about Maya light cav. Sci-Fi would prefer talk about Galley Micro, right? Ooh, Lyri running cannon into the castle. Aztec galleys, they train faster.
உங்கள் சித்தம் சரி உங்கள் சித்தம்
Hoi. Good walker.
Cannon coming forward. It's on your end? Alright, alright.
Hoi.
So, Blast Furnace, 2-man saw on the way. Hera just trying to do Hera things. It's like Hera is stuck with a crescent on the coast, whereas Lyri has a blob trying to push forward. Hera's getting skirms, Lyri now finishing all of his upgrades. And this is where I feel the Dravidian going Halb Skirm should be better than Bengali going Skirm Light Cav. Bengalis, if they were to add Halbs, will miss the final armor upgrade. I'm gonna have Man-at-Arms for Lyri, and ooh, we could have Woot Steel Champions. So he just kind of amasses a bit of gold. He has managed to get all 4 of his relics back, so wherever they were at the top, he has gotten them. 1 in that monastery, 3 somewhere else, wherever they are. 3 in this monastery, so those are safe. So he will have the relic lead as this goes forward, and maybe 4 relics is enough as Gambusing comes on the way. It'll be a while before he gets champion, but he might be able to win the game with champions. And finish the game with cannon. Oh, you know, that's a good point too. He could even go Cannon Galleon on the water. Don't know if how well he'd think about that, and that does kind of lead you into a different gameplay style, right? You need to go fast fire. Well, you could go Thericidai Cannon Galleon. As Bengalis would heal on the water, so good. I mean, good water civs for both of them late game. No heavy demos, so maybe Dravidians can just go fast fire Cannon Galleon. And you're trying to wall up. There's still some holes in the wall, though. Light Cav raid's getting in. If Lyri can ever get fully walled, I guess that's a big if against Hera, then the Light Cav stop pouring in. And they have good infantry line. I think they have all upgrades aside from the last armor. But missing the last armor is pretty huge against skirms. As it's, I think, 5 armor then, against 7 attack, which means you're taking 2 damage instead of 1, so twice the damage. It's not huge against Woot Steel, though, that's true. So it is irrelevant against Woot Steel. Arrow slits for Lyri. Okay, another castle for Hera. And as someone said, a Cannon Galleon or 2 maybe here could be prudent for taking out the coastal castles. Lyri continuing to push with the 4k score lead. But Hera has, look at that, 12, 13k more resources collected. And the KDs really aren't that far apart. What Hera's not going to have access to is a lot of these gold mines in the middle, but he can kind of loop around the coast and try to take some of the ones on the side. And there is Champion, yes, and he's got around 1,000 gold for pumping them out. So I think the Champion switch should be really nice for him. So how would Bengalis deal with this? They could go Elephant Archer, but I don't think the economy for that is possible. Lyri dropping a bit in population, might need to fall back a bit and get his pop-up, but then can go Dravidian Champions. Maybe he needs to do Devotion if Hera has monks. Castling this hill. This hill is now the main contention point on the map, because it has a gold on it. Hera wants to move out to grab gold, but Lyri with gold access can go Champion. And effective they should be. He doesn't have Woot Steel. That will be expensive for him. Woot Steel would be good. The armor is in for the Cav and the Skirms, and Lyri, he's gonna think about castling the hill. Oh, now he's got 3 Treb and 5 cannon with the castle atop the hill. This hill will let him reach so much. There'll be a TC, the monasteries, the castles, 2 castles, 2 TCs basically. 3 TCs even. And I don't think Hera can stop this. The only thing that will stop it from going up is Lyri's own trebuchet deploying atop the foundation. And Lyri will have to move it slightly and find a spot. But immediately 3 Trebs besieging the castle, that will crumble to dust. As Lyri loses a Treb, unfortunately not the Treb on top of the castle location. There he goes, he finds a spot for it. Hello, Sunnyflower, how you doing? Sending 20 skirms to kill 1 champ. Surely Leary takes this, I think. And Jen Chess, hello, hello. Nice Teutonic Knight dance emote you got there. And there's devotion for Leary. Hera's still with the sneak castle. Hera's maybe closed the score slightly. It's now just under 4K difference. And hello Lexi. Cannon gonna take out that Treb, keep Hera trapped. Hera's desperately trying to throw up more castles. And he's still somehow about 14 to 15k more resources collected. But the champs and the halbs keep pushing forward. And Leary now from this hill, more spots to attack the castles. Hera somehow has, like, better Treb production with these castles here. Leary getting 200 pop though. Now Hera running out of resources, down enough in KD that he's lowering to 150 pop. And if he can't keep production, he's going to start losing the fights, just like we saw in that last game. There's a point where you run out of resources and you run out of steam. And we all know AoE 2 is much better on Steam than on the Microsoft Store. Treb goes down. And Cannon keep going for the castle. And these two castles should go down. Don't think Hera can keep them up, and I think we're about to hit the GG moment as Murder Holes comes in even from Leary. There's an infinite resources cheat code. Hera's typing in cheesesteak Jimmy's on his PC right now. Do Cannon Galleon. I mean, this castle over here, I think you're right about that. Being able to hit that with Cannon Galleons could be nice. How much damage? That's a Capture Age Pro feature, unfortunately. And we're supporting the free version here. So Treb's going for the castle. Hello, Chipmunk, Ebark, everyone. Your newly high emotes. Thank you, Exotic Tuba, for the follow. Alright, so now Leary once again making a push to the coastline, trying to cut Hera in half. Hera swapping to battle elephants, does not have elite battle elephant. And maybe that's a way to deal with the champions, but Leary should be able to swap right back into halbs, no problem. Hera with two monstrous trebuchets attacking the castle. Leary there atop the hill, ready to repair. Still missing hoardings, something he might try to add in at some point. And we'll see what damage the elephants can do. And their push, that's a lot of halbs out. And the champions can make a beeline for the trebs. Monks still trying to get conversions. They're going for the monks. Elephants trying to snipe off cannon. The cannon are running away. And now Leary with 4 trebs found a spot where he can hit Hera's castle. And that'll expose Hera's eco down here, maybe just some raiding. Hera definitely not giving it up. He's not going down without a fight. Leary now just about 5k, a little more than 5k, almost 6k score ahead. So he's getting to that. I'd say he's getting to ACCM territory, but now I think it's going to be 25k score for ACCM going forward. Not 5k, but there's the GG, and Leary ties it up 1-1, winning what I think is a good Civ matchup for him on not Nomad. So let's look at the stats real quick. More kills. Hera with more eco, but not enough to overcome the Civ matchup. Imp times were pretty similar, and let me go to the clean feed so we can see Leary and Hera on the stage. GG. We'll have to do that after the game. Real quick look at the stats, then we swap over to the clean feed. Hera's gotta wipe his face from the sweat of that matchup. Clean face for a clean feed. Is there a pause? I have no idea. At the garrison, we had pauses. There were... the problem is, if you're a streamer and you need to fill time during the pause, you also need a pause, because if you're casting for several hours, you have to run to the bathroom. I know, like, Dave and Mem, and then Mem and I had a couple of long sets where we were like, well, we need a pause too. You gotta go play some interviews. So that's a win on Not Nomad for Leary. And with the civs, that was Dravidians over Bengalis. And Dravidians a later pick in the draft for Leary than Bengalis, so a nice little counter pick for him there. And Smooth Crim 420, woohoo, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate the support, and also appreciate everyone watching. We have over 400 viewers between Twitch and YouTube, so glad you're watching here. I guess Nilly isn't streaming, so you can come over here. Should I stream in German for the Nilly audience? I do still want to do a German stream one day. Yeah, low skates. The problem is I've never played AoE 2 in German, so I don't know the vocabulary words for any of the units. I'll need to one day put the game in German and just play it there. Better for Sunday morning. Schnitzel mit Kartoffeln. Speak German, you don't know the German names for units either. I can change the language in Capture Age? Ooh, okay. Next time we have a German player matchup, I will attempt it. Probably not for a big finals, but maybe we'll do a Deutsche Dienstag some Tuesday. Where did Nilly go? It's Sunday in Germany, so Nilly is closed. All right, so let's get into the game. Oh, I updated my scoreboard improperly. It's 1-1. And loading into the game. Oh wait, failed to download match content. All right, it'll be Pakari is the map. I'll use the English names. Well, my point would be to practice my German. Because I was around over 10 years ago, I lived in Berlin and I was at almost a B2 level of German, but I haven't spoken it since. So I failed to download match content again. Sorry, chat. We have a clean feed we can watch while I struggle to download the match content. We have a backup. I want to talk about the map that I edited. Good Sunday German joke. Thank you, thank you. All right, here we are, getting caught up. So the map is Pakari, and I failed to download the match content so many times, I couldn't even talk about all the work I did to position the boar in locations so that they were fair. But the boars are fairly located in the middle of the map. You'll just have to believe me. You'll just have to believe me. So Pakari, I guess this is one of Trezini's maps, but apparently the boar were in rather unfair locations. So they were just kind of neutral boar hoovering around in the middle, and I tried to make them a bit more fair. Here, look at this. Look at how fair this one remaining boar is for Leary to take. Oh, look at that. He's gonna scout it, and he's gonna be like, dang. This is not an admin-ry. I can take the boar. Oh, wait, no, that's Hera's boar. Oh, he can lame it. He can lame it. Go, Leary, lame the boar. Your Mongols lame the boar. Well, speaking of boar, the Civ matchup is Mongols versus Britons, where Mongols have an insane start with all of the hunt, but Britons late game should win the matchup with longbows. Remember, Mongols lack the final armor upgrade for their skirms, and longbows have an extra attack compared to the arbalest line. So, tricky to deal with the longbows. They can go Ferrari Rams, but that doesn't really kill the longbows. Drill Siege Onager is an option, but longbows probably still have the range to... can I say Feuer Lanzerreiter? I can try to. Can I say Streichhölzer Kätzchen? I can attempt to say German words. Oh gosh, the stream title, you're right, the stream title has an extra 0 in it. Yes, thank you, thank you. It's supposed to be 50,000. Took a while for someone to point that out, but thank you. Thank you. Your stream switched to Nilly. Also, appreciate everyone who's followed the stream today, because we're at 13,970. We're almost at 14k followers. And I'd absolutely love to be able to hit 15k by the end of the year. So Hera up to the feudal age, and immediately throwing down an archery range. He's on gold, and thank you, Grettenbach, for the follow. On gold, so he will be pumping out some archers. Faster working ranges for the Britons, but only 10% faster, not the 20% they used to have. A nerf that applied mainly for team games, but does hurt them quite a bit in 1v1s. I've always kind of thought maybe that should be 10% as a team game, but then an extra 10%, or as a team bonus, then an extra 10% just as a civ bonus, so they still get their own 20%. But it does mean their skirms won't produce as fast. And thank you... Ooh, I don't even know how to say this. X3EYX. There's got to be a word in there that is eluding my pronunciation. And Mad Martini, thank you for the follow. So 3 vills out there. Lyri a bit slower up. And Lyri up on 22 pop as the Mongols with some extra boar. Is there a chance he fast castles? Look at those resources. Yeah, so, I can talk about this. Another change I made that Heavenly Chorus wanted was the golds always to be forward. Kind of like they are on Ghost Lake now. And he didn't want a situation where the gold was to the back, and one player would have a safe gold and the other had a forward one. And Wired 14, thank you for the follow. And he's gonna move out and hunt some chickens. Okay, hunting wild chicken. And what has Lyri seen? He has spotted the range. And knowing that Hera's going for a range instead of a stable, he is maybe confident he has some time to grab food from the chicken. And Dying Ducks and Zigya, thank you for the follows. So he's trying to quick gate, but he's not the Viper. It might be better than the Viper now, but he's still not the Viper. Thou shalt not work on Sunday for the German stream. And Will, thank you for the follow. And here come the archers forward, and this is the risky thing. Lyri with the forward gold, but he is up. Is he gonna go FC Mangadai? What else do you do as the Mongols? FC Cav archers? That's gotta be easier than Mangadai. He does have a stone in the back he was able to wall. Hera not quite as fortunate with the stone location. Maybe Heavenly Chorus should have told me to change that too, and put a stone always in the back. Or a stone never in the back to make it fair. But Lyri will FC here. Okay. So FC Mongols versus Britons. This is the type of the thing where I feel like the Britons could, as Lyri reacts to get a wall up, could just go very, very mildly into archers, and then go for a fast castle themselves, not quite as fast, but then have a bigger archer mass to turn into crossbows. And, well, with the range and some skirms, if it's FC Steppies, he's gonna have to afford stables. And even if it is FC Cav archers, he would want the stable for bloodlines and husbandry. It's called random map script, insert angry old man. Yeah, Bazi's saying I should have put like 5 or 6 wolves back here on the wood line for the players to deal with. Oh yeah, Bazzi, you should have been around that day. This was like an earlier version of Hyper Random, but it spawned where players had lines so close that it attacked their starting 3 villagers, and it was a challenge to put down their houses. That's the type of map Bazzi would love. What are their biggest strengths? I feel like they're both very similar. Both very meta players, completely different playstyles to like how Yo plays the game. But kind of like that very clean build order, somewhat defensive, not over investing, trying to get small eco leads and snowball them type of playstyle. And Yeti1236, thank you for the follow. And we'll have another TC down here for Lyri, finding more stone and finding some chickens, finding wild chickens. Yeah, if it were a team game, you'd probably see Lyri flank Hera pocket. Although, as team game players, I would probably think both of them would be flanks in an ideal setup. There's Castle Age and Fletching on the way. And now Paranoid thinking Steppies are coming. Yeah, right, because Leary's up, Hera can't really keep scouting, and he doesn't know what Leary's doing. So he has to play very defensively around the front of his base, tower the gold. And the fact that he towered the gold and doesn't have any stone in his base means he's going to need to do a market if he wants another town center. So there's the market on the way. And the Britons do have the wood discount for their town centers, but offset a bit if you then have to spend wood doing the market and then buying the stone. So right now, eco-wise, just by virtue of going for the fast castle, Leary has kind of disrupted Hera's second eco bonus, right? The first Britain's eco bonus is the shepherds working faster. Second one then would be the cheaper TCs. Mongols. That's the type of thing. It feels like they're very similar, but usually Hera does it slightly better. I'd say Leary probably a bit better on the archer micro, but it's not like Hera's bad at that. And Hera may be just slightly better at, I think we've seen it the past 2 games. They're taking fights, and Hera has the slightly better economy, like just a bit smoother adding in the TCs and finding the right moments to keep the TCs running without falling behind in the fights. Did Leary add a defensive siege workshop somewhere? Not that I see. He added a monastery to start picking up relics, and he added a second town center. So he is trying to pull ahead in villagers now. You see Hera is still ahead in resources collected, which is kind of surprising when you're against the Mongols who had all those boar. And there still is a boar out in the middle of the map that Hera could have taken. And Mongols with the hunt on the chickens must feel pretty nice. So skirms here, but feudal skirms against crossbows. Skirms don't even have bodkin. Ooh, this is not going to be a good fight for Leary. You see, he did get bodkin, and now there's the workshop. And the problem for Leary is this is his gold, and Hera can camp that gold now. Ooh, and this is looking rough for Leary now, as Hera will have crossbows forward on the gold. And Leary could take another gold in the middle, but his TC's on the outside on stone. He's not looking for the middle.
Ready.
Yeah, right, he rushed the second TC, but has some idle TC now. And as you said, even Vil count, and Hera's going to get his TC up. But if you look at the market prices, Hera did have to buy stone. Is his webcam blocking the market? It is. It is. Hold on. Let me do this. There you go. He had to buy stone. Had to build the market and buy stone. But yeah, you're right. Leary's so much idle time. Oh, I closed it just in time to click the farm. There, buying stone. And then, buying stone again for another TC. There we go. And now Hera 3 TCs. And Leary, had a plan, FC with the Mongols, but has it worked out for him? He's down by 500 resources collected. He's down in military count, 13 to 7. He's off of his gold, off of gold completely. Has to do a clandestine mining camp and hope that Hera doesn't spot him over here. He's going to be down in TCs. He has a relic in the middle of nowhere because he can't drop it off at home. He doesn't even have elite skirm. Has to do a market himself. Not gonna be behind if he didn't have the second. It's because if you're fast castling, your eco is not that strong. It's important to remember just how weak your eco is on a fast castle. I think maybe we get enamored with those phosphoro builds these days, where you don't need food, you're pumping out your Rathas, and it's no eco, and you're just doing a unique unit. Yeah, I have to remember you're very fragile behind that, and I think it shows even more when you're taking eco approach, going for the TCs, as he's still losing elite skirm. Hera kind of in the same situation, right? He doesn't have ballistics. He doesn't have ballistics for this fight. Can't do everything, and he went for workshop in mangonels. But now Leary falling behind, has to do another workshop, and that main gold. Well, Hera can thank Heavenly Chorus for telling me to move the golds forward on this map, because Leary's gold is completely denied now. And Hera played this extremely well, and we saw the damage that Leary did, forcing the market to get the second TC. But Leary didn't quite have the eco, even with the hunt on the chickens to keep both TCs running as the Mongols. He can't even put his relics anywhere. Now he's getting punished. Hera pulling ahead 1.3k extra resources. He is in the middle. I don't know what he's going to do from the middle. Mangonel's cleared. And it feels like the problem in this matchup is if you're going to go Mongols and go FC, you don't have a great unit to make against the Britons. You can go skirms, but even then the Britons outrange you. Unless you're going to do some type of like double workshop Scorpion forward, but even then Hera has map control with the archers to stop that. You're kind of Huanging as your option then. I see late imp Mongols, I'd love to see that too. Very smart, he won't show gold units while he mines elsewhere. That's a good point. I mean, he can do an occasional Mangonel, because Hera will think, maybe, you know what would be extra next level? If Hera is constantly watching the market prices, seeing that Leary is making gold units without using the market, and then realizes that Leary's in the middle. That would be extra next level from Hera. I don't even see, like, castle Mongols. Well, I mean, maybe Leary can win 1 Mangonel versus 3. Versus 4. I've seen Doubt lose in this position. It was one game I saw Doubt had 7 Mangonels and MBL had 2. And take a guess at who won. Need a hero Mangonel. Okay, there you go, there you go. That's it. Okay, one good Mangonel shot. Oh, the pathing. Crossbows block the Mangonel. And okay, Leary 3 to nothing for Mangonels. That's what he needed there. That's what he needed. GG, you're calling GG because Hera lost his forward, right? Well, Hera's up 20 vils. Leary's gonna need more than just Mangonel shots. Oh, okay, doesn't hit anything there. Oop, the Mangonel goes down to crossbows. Well, so far he's like 1 for 4 in Mangonels. And he gets, ooh, that doesn't hit somehow. Okay, now Hera, he's using crossbows against the Mangonels. There's a GG. Hera goes up 2 to 1, and his quick stats, 32 kills, better eco, 3-minute difference in castle age time, but Leary didn't really do anything with it. And let's swap to the clean feed. Boom, look at Hera there. Doesn't even need to wipe his face after that one. Alright, and just a reminder, I'm going to do an ad in between the games, so we don't have them during the games on Twitch. So apologies for the ads. If you want to watch the clean feed, there is both the actual stream you could watch, and I'm also restreaming it on YouTube too. So there's no ads on YouTube. Just get this out of the way. And me update my personal scoreboard too. 2 to 1 for Hera. It's a win on Pakari. And for the civs, that was Britons over Mongols. And the Mongols were Leary's number 2 pick. I really do like Britons as a civ matchup against Mongols. He wipes the sweat with Leary. Janchess, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, maybe Leary just needed a refill on his water. I'm halfway done with my coffee, and I might need a refill on this soon. And hello Douglas. Indeed, no ads on YouTube. I also do have what, 138 viewers on YouTube, so nice to see we still get good viewership for YouTube for stuff like this. I had no idea what type of viewership I'd get for this, considering I was thinking everyone else would stream it and I was starting at 7:30 a.m., but seems to be pretty good. Glad I decided to do this. Hope you all are enjoying the cast. Maybe 2 fans around the clock. Well, particularly for this one, it should be a time zone for other fans. All viewers are just you with lots of tabs open? Well, as long as you open Twitch with lots of tabs and give me the ad revenue, that's fine. And I say that sarcastically. Alright, and here we go on to Bedouins. Let's see, will I fail to download match content? There we go. Alright, so the map is Bedouins. We had a 4-hour match on this game. This is, I guess, the predecessor of African Clearing. African Clearing was based on this map. Both players will mill in the middle next to each other. So Chinese for Hera, Maya for Leary. This matchup might change significantly now that the Chinese have Fire Lancers and heavy rocket carts compared to what it was in the past. As the Maya do usually have a weakness to siege onagers with all their archers, and it's not a siege onager, no siege engineers, but still really good. Rocketry scorpions could also be a thing. And we've seen enough Fire Lancers, and they move faster for the Chinese to know that Fire Lancers usually do well against eagles. So could we see Fire Lancer Rocket Cart as a late game composition for Hera? The two players have TCs that are very far away from each other that might invite some fast castles. Both players milling the shorefish. The shorefish on this map have 300 food. That's how Bedouins is compared to the standard 200 African Clearing. Bedouins always has 300. And a bit more wood by the shorefish. There is wood in the middle of the map that can come into play late game, and we know that if the game lasts 4 hours, you gotta control the wood. Maybe Leary thinking of the potential 4-hour game and going for the Maya for the longer lasting wood and also crop rotation. Chinese will have longer lasting farms, but they don't have crop rotation themselves. Is crop rotation more than 75 food? I think it is. Now, the Chinese good early game farms, but then the 10% falls off a bit. What's better, crop rotation or 10%? I think crop rotation is better. The team bonus, if you have like a Sicilian's teammate, that's where that really shines. And crop rotation? Alright, I will trust you. I will trust the chat. Do rocket carts still need to fully shoot everything to one-shot a Mangonel? Oh, and the Revenant, hello, hello. And John Loft, hello. And I'll say the Air. I'll assume the 4 is an H there. That's a good question, because they changed how the Mangonel attack grounds work. And I don't know if the change applies to rocket carts subtly or not. I feel like rocket carts usually have an advantage in the 1v1 against Mangonels, but it's kind of tricky because the rocket cart needs to shoot the entire volley, and whereas the Mangonel shoots everything at once, it takes a short delay to shoot everything from the rocket cart, and you have to stand still longer while you're doing that, so it's a bit harder to micro. It's like plus 17.5 compared to the 175. Okay, so it's much, yeah, crop rotation is going to be absolutely dominate that. Problem for the Maya late game is they don't have hussars, so they really do need a gold unit or they're using the market. Otherwise, it's basically Halb Skirm from them. That's the only thing they can do. They won't have all 3 trash lines like the Chinese have. And the Chinese have full upgrades for all their trash lines, aside from they don't have hussar. They only have light cav. Leary gonna wall, and looks like this will be a fast castle from him. Maybe the downside of walling for the Maya is his stone is far away, and if he wants to go FC Plumes, could be hard to get to the Plumes. Yeah, crop rotation is like 225. Yeah, time to find out. I could hover over this, right? And it'll tell me. Does Capture Age tell me? Oh, heavy plow plus 125. And crop rotation is plus 175. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that 10% is nowhere near 175. I still hope. I hope it will be a 4-hour game, Sunnyflower. I hope it will be a 4-hour game. That's the best type of Age of Empires. So Leary doing Loom after going up. So feudal without Loom, he recognizes how far apart they are, and he's going to bring his villagers back, maybe? Ooh, where's he going with these vills? He's taking shorefish still. Maybe, oh, is he gonna lame this? Is he gonna lame this? Oh, he has a house right there. Can he get the gate at the perfect location? He's waiting for the gate. Ooh, he trapped. Ooh, that's, oh, great. He actually gets the vill to do more damage. He needs to like long distance gate it. Okay, no, not gonna stop it. Although he's gonna force Hera to dance and micro a bit more. Hera's not a Rage Forest player, though. Remember, Hera's not a Rage Forest player, and the boar's gonna walk back. He can grab it with another vill, though. Okay, so he's being mildly disruptive there. Oh, wait, that's a low HP vill. Can Leary get past it and wall? Yes, he can. Leary with the wall. Hera has nowhere to run. And down goes the villager, falling into the pond. Leary gets the first blood of the game. And Leary, he's up faster, so that means he'll be down in vills. Hera will have more vills and more res collected as he's going up. Barracks in range for Leary. Leary's out for blood, out for the quick walls. Wants to tie this up 2-2. Is Maya good in Bedouins despite no scout? Maya is good in Bedouins because, well, the Chinese start with +2 vills, but the Maya start with +1 vill once they get the TC up. So they do get an extra vill, and just like the Chinese, they don't need to do loom right away. So it's not like you're counteracting the extra vill with loom, at least during the Dark Age, like you are for most maps. So similar to the Chinese, but not quite as strong of a start. And you're hoping that the Maya maybe can have a better late game army composition than the Chinese, which in AOC I'd probably say usually they do, but with the Fire Lancer rocket cart change, I'm not sure how the matchup works now. quick walling up the back alley. Yeah, I got quick walled by the security in that electronics store at the garrison. I walked from one side of the store to the other just as the store was closing, and they were roping it off to like make a passage on the side. But I just happened to be in the middle of the store, and in the few seconds it took me to walk from one side to the other, they'd roped me off, and I turned around and I saw the other side was roped off. And I was IRL quick walled. So Leary coming forward with an archer. Archer will be quick walled a bit by the gate. Hera gonna keep the vills alive, use some HP to keep the archer out. Gate won't stay up forever though. And will if he adds more HP to it, though. And defensive range for Hera, he'll probably have to go skirms, and yep, there are the skirms. They do train more slowly now, but we all know they're the best unit in the game. Although, when we say skirms and late game trash units, we do have Hulcha Javelineers. And anyone from Dave can tell me what the Maya need to do with that unique tech? What do they need to avoid? Well, Leary needs to avoid being trapped in. Leary equals Viper confirmed. Ooh, okay, more archers on the way. That's not gonna happen to Leary. He's aware of that. He needs to avoid some single-minded avoidance of Maya skirms. So here we have Castle Age on the way for Hera. And now he's skirming. He's skirming it up. Leary won't be too far behind to the Castle Age, but Hera will definitely be up first. And probably in a good position to add TCs and boom. Exactly, Mad Hyena. There was an unnecessary single-minded avoidance of Maya skirms. Oh, the meme. That reminds me of the time I was playing the HD edition. And I think this was back when Tato was streaming HD. And he had, Tato would always be, he would take the low-rated players on his team and try to fight against the high-rated players. And there was some random as his flank. And his flank was being 2v1'd, he was getting attacked, and Tato kept flaring and flaring, telling him to delete his walls so that he could come and help him. And he never deleted anything, didn't say anything, until eventually the guy just raged at Tato for leaving him 2v1. And he was like, useless 2k9. That's what the Maya skirm reminds me of. So someone who doesn't know what they're doing yelling, useless 2k9. Is that goat there for moral support for the archers? You gotta have doubt for moral support, no matter what you're doing. Extra projectiles, one more extra damage? One more extra damage, but remember, in Skirm versus Skirm War, one more extra damage is basically doubling your damage output from all that, I think it is? Let's see, it's not +1, but it's, on top of the bonus damage, right? You're doing an extra damage. So +1 in a very low damage situation matters a lot. Ooh, the eagle. Killing some of those doubts out there. The goats will just have their food rotting in the middle of the map. Think Jordan had an amazing late game with Maya skirms? He probably did. So horse collar on the way for Hera. And we'll have Castle Age on the way here for Leary. And so far, well, what has Leary not made? A single skirm. He's going crossbow eagle up to the Castle Age and ready to do some upgrades. Crossbow bodkin first, and again, Leary really liking going forward with aggressive siege workshops in all these matchups against Hera. Did it in the first game, did it in the second game. Didn't have the opportunity to do it in the third, but 3 out of 4 games, forward workshop. Hera 3 TC booming, and Leary will add a second TC behind this push. Miss Obsidian Arrows. I have nightmares about Obsidian Arrows. That haunts my dreams even to this day. That and Tato Tower rushing me on the HD edition. Ooh, picking off a Vil there. Nice kill from Leary. Defensive tower, trying to hold this off. That palisade won't hold much longer. But Mangonels will be pushing now for Leary. And we'll see how long Hera takes to get his own Mangonels. Not long, as he has the workshop up. His TCs will be idled a bit, as he had to go for the workshop. Doesn't have the farm numbers yet. But should be able to recover from that. Leary getting a third TC of his own. So by forcing Hera to do the workshop and idle a bit, Leary's able to avoid the Vil count getting too different, but he's already down by 7 to 8 Vils. Leary has a bit more resource when he hits Castle Age compared to Hera because he went up slower. So by doing the workshop and forcing Hera to counter with his own workshop, he's getting a bit more idle time for Hera. So crossbows coming over, hitting the skirms. Still just feudal skirm for Hera. Right, and Hera trying to do a lot. He's trying to do 1, 2, 3 TCs, get out rocket carts, and also defend with skirms. He can't afford elite skirm. And he's also mining stone for a castle. And I don't know if Chuko Nu is the play against the Maya? Chuko Nu versus Plumes is interesting. I'm not actually sure. I think in a straight up fight the Chuko Nus win, but Plume's a bit cheaper, a bit easier to micro. And Leary killing the camel, because why not? Camel doesn't do anything, it's just there for scenery. And he is going to get out while the getting's good. Can I occasionally swap to a player's point of view? I cannot, Mr. Blaze. I don't have that technology here. I'm not physically at the land location. I don't have the ability to swap perspectives. You can pull up the clean feed. There's an LY feed if you want to watch that. I don't know if they swap, but I only have the cams because I've cropped the clean feed to show them. Ooh, Mangonel hit by the tower. Camel. That's true. You kill all the camels so there are fewer units and it doesn't lag late game, right? Okay, and there he was. Okay, Mangonel, Rocket Cart trade off against each other. Leary continues the pressure. Leary with a score lead, but kind of that same situation in the first game where Leary is pressuring, but Hera slightly ahead in villager numbers, slightly ahead in resources. And Castle going up for Hera, so he probably should be okay against this push. Problem for Hera actually is the way the map spawned, he only has 1 gold over here. Castle will protect another gold, and he's going to have to expand out into the south should he want more gold. And Leary did expand towards that stone, so he will do a castle of his own. And now he's got decisions to make as the Maya. Do you stay full castle age? Do you push with eagles? Do you do a forward castle? Maybe go for a faster imp and a treb war? The Maya usually do excel at that. And if you're against the Chinese, usually the Chinese are a civ that wants to be a good 1,000 resources ahead. Only 300-400 ahead for Hera. Happily checking the viewers here. 22k.
Shot it.
I don't know how that corresponds to other events recently. I feel like there's probably a dip in viewership compared to what we've had like during the COVID years. But I think that's true for, you know, not just Age of Empires, but across Twitch as a whole. Probably doesn't help with all the layoffs Twitch had too. And And we're what? I'm gonna get 150 on YouTube and 330 on Twitch, so that's pretty good for us. Do Maya have good scorpions? Not particularly. They don't have siege engineers. They have heavy scorpions, but that's it. The Chinese with rocketry would have the better heavy scorpion. And Coco Puffed, thank you for the follow. Close it in, we need 21 more followers for 14k, so we're almost there. It's not counting the viewers IRL at the event. Oh, you're right. Happy Leaves needs to hack the security cameras at the venue, get some live viewer counts, and add that to the spec dashboard. That's the quality of product we'd expect from him. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs now for Hera. Pulling ahead in Vils, only 3 for Lyri. Now the Maya probably don't need as many Vils as the Chinese do. Their army is much cheaper. That does mean late game they can have more of an army count and less of a villager population. Yeah, also not being in prime hours, right? And I don't know how accurate the Chinese viewer counts are. And Rumberg Handy, thank you very much for the follow. Peak for Warlords was about 29k. All right. Hello, Rumberg. How you doing? Cool. I made the maps. Well, for this, I edited a couple of them. I didn't make them from scratch for this one. Trezini was busy a couple weeks ago, so I made a few edits to some of the maps last minute to fix some bugs. Bedouins, I don't think I made any changes to this one. This has been a map script that's around for a while now. So castle coming up for Hera. Still trying to secure more of the map. And no gold spawned in this corner, which would have been nice for Hera. Has to still move towards a more exposed area. Lyri running away from the skirms. And they're just feudal skirms, so Lyri actually can take a nice fight here. Lyri up to Imp, so both players up to Imp, Hera a bit faster. And yeah, only feudal skirms. Now the crossbow's gonna run down the Chuko News. A nice fight for Lyri, where he was mostly trapped. He's gonna try to avoid the rocket carts. Difficult thing for the Chuko News is when they micro. Just like the rocket carts, they have to stand in the same spot and shoot over and over. And with 2 rocket carts in Chuko News, maybe the crossbows finally are trapped. He's gonna take out a rocket cart, maybe? And it'll escape on 4 HP. 4 HP. You only need 1, that's more than enough. So, Imp on the way here from Lyri. And Plumes, he's swapping to Plumes. And what does Elite Plume cost these days? Does Capture Age tell us that? I don't think it gives us the cost of the Elite upgrades. So it's only food and wood. So it's a tricky one where it's pretty expensive on food and wood, but it doesn't cost any gold. So it doesn't really compete with your army production the way some other things do. But you usually do want to prioritize Bracer and Chemistry first. Yeah, 700 food, 1000 wood. What was it? It was cheaper in AOC, right? It was a bit cheaper. Plumes themselves were cheaper. Their cost has been nerfed a bit. Or made more expensive. The graphics have also been nerfed. I'm never going to be used to this Castle Age plumed archer. So Plumes hit the rocket cart, down it goes. It was cheaper on food. Do you think they look cooler? I think the elite Plumes are fine, but these guys, I don't know. Elite Chuko News in, and heavy rocket cart. And that's what I was afraid of for the Maya. Facing heavy rocket cart. An option. The Chinese used to have onager, but the heavy rocket cart more like a siege onager than an onager, I'd say. Can chop trees and everything. And, well, if the Maya get to what they want, plumes plus eagle, takes a lot of gold, and Chuko News themselves usually decent against eagles, despite the pierce armor because of all the bolts they shoot in one volley. They can do 1 damage rapidly enough to the eagles to punch through the armor. And there's the heavy rocket cart with the double stack of rockets. This thing looks so silly. This feels like you're just gonna like puff and blow it over. A bit top heavy. I just don't understand the Maya fashion. I guess I don't. Here's chemistry on the way. And Leary may be close to affording Elite Plume. But Elite Plume probably not going to be useful against the rocket carts. So we have rocketry on the way. Does that affect rocket carts now? Or what's the effect? Plus 25% attack. Okay. And it does affect their cannon galleon ship up there. Their Lutron. So they could, I mean, Hera could dock the pawns and make them, right? I think the pawns are dockable. He's floating a bit of gold, right? And that can happen as the Maya. You end up floating gold if you're not going eagles. Plumes are cheap enough. The advantage then would be he doesn't need as many vills, doesn't need as big of an eco to sustain his army. And yeah, right, it feels like going eagle would be the answer to the rocket carts. And if he's going onager though. How does heavy rocket cart versus onager compare? They have the same range. A bit more HP for the rocket carts. This is where maybe the plumes are a bit more nimble and able to dodge shots better than the Chuko News. But the Chuko News, enough attack that they do deal with onagers and at least destroy them. There is Elite Plume. So it's going to be Plume plus onager. At the same time, Leary has to defend against Trebs. He's cutting some trees so he can micro his onagers a bit more easily. Maybe go for one more cut on that pond. But and if it is a 4-hour game, that will cut into his wood supply. I always got to keep that in mind. They tend to do they tend to bunch up more? Maybe an effective, like I said, they have to stand in one spot to shoot. I guess does heavy rocket cart have to stand in one spot longer to shoot the entire volley? So that's 3 Trebs, but Leary losing the onagers. There is Elite Plume. Now this looks more like the plumed archer, I know. This has some shoulder pads though. And that will now be 5 trebuchets for Hera. He has a 1k score lead. And if Leary loses this castle, he'll have 1 more castle down here. I feel like this unit composition isn't working for him. Lost the castle, needs more onagers. Hera with a very smooth economy. Has castles defending everything in case of late game raids. Getting more farmers out. I feel weak in pro play the past year. Yeah, they did make eagles cost more food, which was a pretty big nerf. Other than the Inca, I think the Inca still have some good rolls, but yeah, Maya and Aztecs feel much weaker than they used to. And thank you also, we have Trago 101 and Steffel 261 for the follows. Green cards have to sit still for ages to fire the full volley. Yeah, I mean, onagers have more projectiles too, but right, they don't have to stand still. And here is Chuko New against onager, and if you micro them properly, you pick off the onagers easily. And there's the GG from Leary, and 3-1 for Hera. So 77 to 35 KD, and the army composition did not work out for Leary as Hera has the Chinese more vills at the start, and led to a nice eco lead for him. And you can swap over to the clean feed. Whoosh. There we go. Thanks for casting the final. Thanks for watching. And we'll do that 3-1 for Hera. As he's in a good spot. After game number 4, still has 2 of his home maps left. That'll be Chinese against the Maya. Now, Leary still has Persians as his number 1 civ. And that does take out the top civ for Hera. But I'm not even sure what you do against Chinese on Bedouins. They have such a smooth economy. Instantaneous archer movement, dodging everything. Yep. Maya should not lose this. Chinese bonuses are all early. Right, at this point, Maya have cheaper archers and longer lasting res. I mean, you get to that point, it's really hard to get a feel for just how absolutely insane the 3 vills for the Chinese is on this map. Because of the 9 vill start, and you're making the mill as you're doing the TC, you're having enough food, not just to get the TC pumping right away, but also to skip a loom. And Leary wasn't able to do enough damage to disrupt Hera's early Castle Age boom, and late game tried to go Plume Onager. I mean, I wonder if things are different if he goes Eagle, but then I think the Chinese can go Chukonu Fire Lancer. It's the type of thing I feel like no matter what Leary opens, Hera has a counter to it. And Leary somehow needs to get the game to a point where he's doing multiple things, but that's expensive to get to if the Chinese eco is better. Yeah, so once again, apologies for running an ad, but I'm going to try to keep the ads during the game so we don't have them, or between the games so we don't have them during the games on Twitch. And you always have the YouTube option if you don't want to see the ad between the games. Need more feudal battle. Oh gosh, and they're launching right away. Gosh, I shouldn't have launched the ad that long. Alright, and now load in myself. And swap over. The map shall be... load capture age. Acropolis. There we go. Oh, the cameras will line up when they swap their feed. There we go. Alright. So Acropolis here. No deep fish in the middle, thankfully. But is Leary still going to dock without deep fish? Oh, he's still going to dock, isn't he? I'm going to try to use the Vil to win the scout fight. Vil gets a poke. And he is... both players are going to... There's no deep fish then. They're still docking. What is this? What does Acropolis become? Yeah, so I made a couple of changes to the map for TTL to guarantee wood lines. I didn't have time to make it as pretty as some of the other versions, though. Hello there, Jimmy. Oh, the Hera and Leary emotes, like, facing each other? That's pretty cool. Age of Docks. Age of Dock Pyres. Did I make this version of the map? This version of the map was based on a version I had made for a previous TTL, and then they took it and edited it further. So in some ways, I guess I contributed to this version, but I didn't make this one. I didn't do any edits to it myself for this event specifically. Alright, so if you had an ad, here we are into game number 5, Leary down 1-3, trying to make a comeback. Persians versus Georgians. Persians is #1 civ pick, and both players docked the middle lake despite not having any deep fish. It has shorefish. And this might be a fire galley and small pond type of map. It looks like Leary will have the advantage in going up first. Wondering what the meta on Acropolis will be after the new water balance? I mean, that's interesting, right? Because demos are going to be weaker. You usually go fire galleys because there isn't enough room to micro galleys. But then there are hulks which should counter fire galleys, and I guess have the same effect that galleys don't have room to micro, so maybe it's just pure hulk on water. Yeah, Acropolis was originally made by Scripter, who is the person who made the user patch. So pretty old map script. Originally it had road terrain instead of rocks before the rock was added. And I think the road terrain just had the effect that resources didn't spawn opposite the road, so it kept everything on the top. So Vil for Hera coming forward, trying to fight the Vil for Leary. So scout fight in the middle. Now, if Leary is omniscient and can predict that he's up faster, he doesn't want to fight with the scout because he wants the earlier feudal boost. He's 10 seconds away. And knowing that he's just about to hit feudal, is going to pull back with the scout and wait for the up timing and then engage. And now he's up, and now he's going to chase the scout. Try to take the best engagement he can. Until Hera is up. Hera's going to loop around with the Vil. And Leary's going to do what he can to hit the scout, while Hera will try to protect it. And there he goes, gets a nice hit on it, but the Vil getting some return hits, and the scout goes down. Scout goes down for Hera. Leary takes a nice scout lead there. Both players up, but now Leary, with the faster working and extra HP on the Persian dock, should have an advantage in fighting on the water. Georgians with the mule cart have a decent eco for the water maps, but I don't think they're quite at the same level as Persians. Immediate demo for Hera? Oh no, that was a misclick. Ooh, that's actually a costly misclick then. I was going to say, maybe he tries to snipe the fish and lose the water, but yeah, misclick for him. 3 Vils forward for Leary. Okay, he's going crazy there. And he's doing a stable behind this. So stable for Leary behind this, and stable for Hera too. Hera going to now mill his berries at the top of the hill, and probably be prepared to lose the water. He's losing a fishing ship there. I'll try to get a fire out. And Leary, walling his 2 Vils in, will take 2 shorefish with them, and be prepared to repair his own fire galleys, should the need arise. Oh, that scout so close to hitting the fishing ship. Well, so close, but he can't get it. He needs to run away. He doesn't want to die to the fire. But yeah, Leary needs to pull back slightly, make sure he doesn't get killed by that fire. Probably wants to pick off that fishing ship too, only 3 HP. Best of 7, best of 7, yes. Can I explain the new water meta? I mean, it's not finalized yet. We'll probably get to it soon. It's supposed to be a different rock, paper, scissors, and reorganized dock. Oh, I do kind of want to make a video about it, but I'll need to go spectate a few games first. I know Lewis and Sato played a few matches, so maybe I'll try to grab those wrecks. Would adding deep fish change anything? Well, adding deep fish, we did have deep fish on this map in the TTL version, and it just made the water even more important, and considering they're docking it without any shorefish, you'd basically see the same gameplay, but a bit more of an advantage from winning the water. I guess it does still depend on the civ you have, whether you want to maybe ignore the water or just go heavier on land, but I think usually going water is the play. Well, actually, Leary went so aggressively, so aggressively for the water, he didn't take his cows. He's fortunate Hera missed scouting them by a tile, so he can go take them. But yeah, he's adding farms maybe a bit earlier than he'd actually need to if he brought in an extra 300 food from those cows. He needs to recognize that they're there. Maybe he doesn't even notice them. He has scouted them, but that spear could go pick them up, and he could be avoiding farms for the moment. Small walling his front wood line. Don't see any forward towers or aggression trying to hit the wood lines from either player. Content to defend and just make a few scouts now. Although the Vils on those berries will have to rely on that spear. Keep themselves safe. Leary staying protected for now. Hera not taking a hit anywhere. Gray on the minimap. Ooh, okay, spear goes down. Nice usage of the hill from Hera. And he can maybe turn and fight, and he can idle the Vils a bit. He can be annoying. He can hoover, as the wizard would say. Scout goes down, but maybe a Vil pick 2. Here, Vil goes down. Leary fighting, he'll sacrifice a Vil to kill a Scout. And he will be up by 5 eco units, counting the 3 fishing ships. So faster working Persian TC, he's going to clear the dock and have the fish. Maybe needs to pull his Vils back from the middle now. Could be hard with the Scouts out. He is down in Scouts. So we'll be up in res, but down in Scouts. And the Georgians, of course, have the healing Scouts. Hera. I've played a couple of games against Hera in my time, and that's like the most annoying thing. He has like the perfect macro cycle for coming back to pay attention to his Scouts and running them away, just as you're about to get a spear hit. Like you think you're gonna get the hit, but then no, you don't. Ooh, Leary. Precise quick wall to keep the Scouts out. There's 1 Vil exposed, and this could be a second Vil pick from the Scouts. He's gonna run from the spear. Maybe he should have just dove the Vil. Now the Vil gets a hit on the Scout. So at the very least, Leary is trading Scouts for villagers. Well, he overforges, has to be careful of that, and notices immediately in walls. So Hera's getting Vil picks, but at least Leary's making him pay in Scout numbers. I'm sure Leary would prefer to keep the Vils alive, but Hera is taking some HP and losses on the Scouts. And Leary in total still up by 3 Vils, thanks to that faster working Persian TC. and 6 eco units total thanks to having some fishing ships, and we're probably going to see him start pulling ahead in resources fairly soon. Has to be careful of overchopping his woodline and letting scouts in. This Ville gets a bit of a wallop, yep, and so I guess back in Nations Cup, I had first edited Acropolis to make sure that the rock terrain extends all the way to the wall, so you can't wall all the way to the edge, and you are a bit more vulnerable. It was random whether it did or didn't in the past, now it does go all the way there. I mean, it makes it a bit more consistent, and also a bit more open, knowing that you have to go for the semicircular walls and can't rely on being safe. Ooh, that Ville. Thankful the spear is there in the back, and the spear is going to get a kill on a scout, but Leary doesn't wall in time. Might be able to get the Ville back to the TC if he's paying attention. Lots of scouts around his base, though, he needs to pay attention to. I don't know where that Ville was going, trying for a farm. Close to the TC, you'll get picked off anyway. Oh, and he'll get the farm. Ooh, nasty. 1 HP. Oh, what the heck was that Ville doing? 1 HP farm snipe. It was risky to go for another farm there, but Bloodline's on the way for Leary. Has 6 scouts of his own. Now he is forward. Time for him to do some damage to Hera. Hera has the quick wall now. With a counter raid now. Need enough of all the hoovering. So yeah, looks like he had a counter raid. Killed a couple of Vills from Hera. If Bloodlines comes in, he has forging. Ooh, Hera noticed just in time to wall this. I was going to say Hera overchop. That could have been vulnerable. But Hera first up to the Castle Age. Leary now investing to Bloodlines and to forging. He's going to have to do damage with his scouts to make up for that investment. Hera will have the better uptime. And I feel like every single game it's been Hera getting to the Castle Age first. And he's down by 10 Vills. And part of that's you're spending more food on Vills as the Persians, so you're kind of, as much as you have the better eco, you're also spending more resources. Can make it a bit harder to manage and click up properly. A bit more idle TC time too, made up for, of course, by the Persian bonus. But yeah, we see him already contributing to 20 farmers. Still didn't find those two cows. Only 15 farms for Hera, so Leary had... Oh, wait, Hera didn't find 2 of his cows, too. Okay, so it's even then. Oh, both these players neglecting their cattle. So, scouts pick off the spear. Castle Age on the way. We will have Bloodlines for Hera. So Hera not getting punished for the later Bloodlines. Leary is taking the fight. He's going to check for Bloodlines right before the fight, but then it'll come in just as the fight starts from Hera, so perfectly timed from him. Gets Leary to engage. But Bloodlines just as the engagement starts. Leary going to turn and fight and lose his scouts. Trying to maybe slow Hera down on his way up to Castle. Is this final best of 7? Yes, best of 7. So if Hera wins this game, then he wins. Leary needs to get the comeback going. It is a match point for the rest of the games. You're trying to get more scouts. As the Persians, he will have camels, and usually being a camel civ is great against the Georgians. But Georgians already with a fortified church in the eco for Hera. Powering the eco. Getting a second TC atop his hill. So very defensive for him, and he's still continuing to get into the eco with the scouts. Leary will chase with spears, but he's going to lose some Vills. And Hera splitting up the scouts. Splitting up the scouts, not taking hits from the spears. Finally the spears get there, and maybe this is a moment where he's not microing properly. He'll lose some scouts. And he's going to keep picking Vills. Oh, this is so annoying. The slow spear is not able to catch the speedy scouts. And Leary taking some damage here. He's still up 42 to 33 Vills. So still a good eco lead for him. And he will get a second TC up. He is still the Persians with the faster working TC. And remember, he did win the water in the middle. Score maybe inflated a bit from winning the water. But if there's any way he can stop these scout raids now, it's with camels. He's going to do light cav of his own. Force Hera to stay atop his hill. Very, very compactly walled. And long run, when you look at the matchup, what do Georgians do against Persians? I always feel like Georgians have a weakness to camels, and Persians will have fully upgraded camels and a great eco for them. Persians should have the better eco all throughout the early game until the fortified churches pay off, but late game with the fortified churches, maybe it's the Georgians. Hera finally finds his cows. Okay, we have a player taking their cows. Don't forget. Halb Towers Siege. Remember, Persians can always do hand cannoneers against Halbs. And what's the Georgian siege like? They do have siege engineers, but no bombard cannons. No good siege onagers, but probably not going to see siege onager in a 1v1. So maybe hand cannon camel is a composition for Lyri. A couple of monks for Hera trying to defend. He'll be fine as long as he keeps him by the... Ooh, a knight and a camel get in on the wood line. Hera will have to run here. Finally an overchop for which he gets punished. A couple of knights coming around on the other side. Lyri is in, and Hera can't just clean that up with the light cav because of the camels. The light cav coming in from Lyri, they'll snipe a monk, force another monk into the TC. But Lyri getting a nice fight here. Monks coming out, have to garrison. And good fight for Lyri. Good disruption. Now he's up by 15 villagers, or 15 eco units. 3 of them are fishing ships, but nice eco lead for him. And with 2 TCs, Hera with a 3rd TC though, but Lyri making up for it by being Persians, having the production speed. And idle time even on 2 TCs, so be careful for him not to add the 3rd before he can support it. He's trying to get a good knight lead. The Georgian's so good at defending with churches. Never underestimate the Georgian ability to defend. Persian boom is scary, but then so is the Georgian boom. I've seen this late game. What was it? The GL Cookout, I think there was a map. That was kind of a hybrid map where it felt like the Persians had a good lead, but the Georgians were able to hold forever. That was what, Viper against... Yo, was it? I forget who the opponent was, but Viper was Georgians and held forever against Persians and eventually won. Yeah, Viper Sebastian, that was it, yeah. Now, Sebastian did try to go War Elephant there, but he had a huge lead that he couldn't finish off the Georgians. Maybe Acropolis is a bit of a different situation, though, because you can't defend with churches all game on top of your hill. You do need to venture into the middle. Here he's getting his 3rd TC now. So 3rd TC, but lots of idle time for Hera, so that kind of makes up for not having the TC, along with the Persian bonus. He needs to, I think he right-clicked some vills onto a wood line instead of the TC, though. He needs to get to the TC. Controlling the middle also does give you an extra gold in the long run, so Lyri would love to pick off a monk. Monk could maybe swap to a knight, but goes down. And all 3 units from the stable. Knights to kill vills, camels to kill light cav, and light cav to kill monks. The diversity of unit choice from the Persian stable paying off for Lyri. Critique, you don't have confidence in Lyri? Oh, still, it's only a 6-vil lead. I mean, Hera has caught up with those TCs, but Lyri slightly ahead in res collected, even able to do fish traps with all the map control he has. Hera now doing a castle. Camel should be good against the Manaspa. Lyri trying to collect relics behind this. Should be able to get 2, but Monk's picking them off. Actually, he should be able, that's 1 on the way. These 2 should be his. And a 4th near his base over here too. Did he scout that? Didn't scout that, but does see all the rest of them. So this could be potentially a 5 relic game from Lyri, unless Hera is able to come forward and take that soon. And Tiny PNS, thank you for the follow. Oh gosh, thank you for the follow. That's the, at least I spelled the name instead of trying to say it. Thank you for the follow. Anyway, here come the Manaspas. I was about to say P and G, and then I was like, oh no, there's an S. And then as I was saying it, I was like, nope. I could have definitely pronounced it worse than I did. I feel like that was like a 95% got me. Okay, ooh, Scout trying to pick off monks does get one of them. TC, for the moment, denied. Manaspa's coming out. Dodgers? What are Dodgers? Can the Japanese make them? Leary taking a fight under the TC, has a camel out. And, ooh, Hera, will this TC be denied? The camels are there to raid the vills. That's a lot of vills going down. That'll open up the vill lead for Leary. Now he's up 90 to 72. And doubt TC, 91%. And with only Manaspas, Hera can't clear those camels. Both players doing their second armor now. And also a bit of an opportunity, I think, for Leary to add knights along with the camels and raid vills while having the camels to deal with the Manaspas and get a good composition going. Hera trying to leak out for another wood line. Oh, Dodgers equals Shrivamph Riders? Okay. I was thinking if they added Shohei Ohtani to the Japanese Civ, then they'd be unstoppable. Is Leary devoted? He is not devoted. Ooh, you're right. Maybe he needs some devotion. And he's grabbing that forward relic. He's grabbing the forward relic. So he has all 4 of the relics he's scouted, and the one he didn't is right by the side of his base. So in the long run, you'd expect him to get 5 relics. And Leary, I think, in a good position to force game number 6. And Persians were his top Civ pick. And oh, finally he'll get the cows. There he goes. A bit too late for them to matter. He's up by about 20 vills. Or 15 vills and 3 fishing ships. Still a fight. He doesn't want to fight by the monks when he's downhill. Maybe Hera finally gets the TC up. We'll get a castle securing his wood line. Still more map control for Leary. And still the good option of camels against the Georgians. And he's getting close to Imp. He needs to make sure when he clicks Imp, he's not going to die to Manaspa spam, as you put it. Yeah, still could use some devotion. Maybe he wants to do that once he clicks Imp. Hera getting close to Imp himself will be a bit slower than Leary, especially since the Persians click up. Or maybe he'll use the market and be faster. Alright, never mind. Leary is not using the market himself. He's building a market. I mean, to do this without a market is nice, but it will slow down his Imp time. There he goes. Now he can click. And he'll have to rely on being the Persians to be equal to Hera. Does he have 2 buildings? He has to have a university by now, right? Oh gosh, does Leary not have a second building? He might have only a monastery. Oh yeah, he's building a panic university. Okay, so the Leary with the economy to be faster up to Imp than Hera, but just a couple of mismanagement things. Not having the market, then not having the university. So a disaster there. But he's Persians, he's okay. Where is he queuing Imp? He's queued it somewhere. Which TC is it in? It's in this TC. Okay. Well, he's Persians, right? He'll be only 40 seconds behind. Any other Civ and it's much worse. Now I think his goal is to get up and do heavy camel and probably chemistry to add in hand cannoneers in case he sees a halb switch from Hera. And as long as he has gold, I think that's going to be his army composition. Savar could be an option, but then you're doing a lot of different gold units. Yeah, you're right. It does show if he has buildings. The little dots up there in capture age. I was looking around. I like to check the base and just visually confirm no second building, and then the panic sets in. As soon as he had that market and was ready to click up, the panic set in, and he needed the university. His build was too clean for his own good. See this being Manaspa win? I would see that if Leary didn't have camels. Camels should be good against Manaspas, right? No handcart yet for Hera. He's just down by 4k resources collected so far. Squire is on the way for Leary, so he can do Halb plus Camel and have both a gold and a trash counter to the Manaspas. And, oh, another TC. Another TC. Not quite denied, but at least Leary was there to hit a Vill. Camels can do some raiding to the north. KD better for Leary. Res collected better for Leary. He's won the water, and yet somehow Hera has the score lead. I guess it's because he hit Imp first. So Hera doing some damage at the front. Pikeman on the way for Leary. Leary still not devoted. Still not devoted. No heresy for the Persians, but they can do faith. think Manaspa shouldn't win against camels. And where is Heavy Camel? What stable is that in? A safe stable at home. Conscription on the way. So Conscription, Heavy Camel, and then Leary's going to try to take a good fight. Halb on the way too. So and Chemistry. And Chemistry. So if he faces Halb, he'll have an answer. Hera trying to push with the Manaspas. And Leary's score is down a bit because of all the upgrades he just queued. Once they come in, his score is going to pop up a bit. More attack for Hera. The light cav getting in on the monks. Nice play from behind from Leary. And now as the upgrades are closing in, Leary's going to come forward and force the fight, push the Manaspas back, and end up getting Heavy Camel. Now the next question then is if you want a raiding unit for Leary, do you spend gold on Cavalier or do you go straight for Hussar? I feel like you probably want to go Hussars and save the gold for camels. Now buildings take 1 or 2 seconds longer to get demolished. He needs siege. He needs siege. Fortified churches everywhere for Hera. That's the hard thing about pushing the Georgians. They'll have their churches everywhere to guard their resources. Another castle for Leary. Is that a little hill? I think he found a little hill atop which to place the foundation. And a mining camp for Leary. He wants that gold. Hera trying to take forward. This is clearly Leary's gold on his side of the map. Leary still the scouting. Not quite there for him. Leaving the relic and a stone mine and a lot of wood in the corner unscouted. We'll have Elite Manaspa on the way for Hera. But Leary still 4 relics. Now his upgrades have come in. He has Heavy Camel, he has Halb, and he has Hand Cannoneers. And he has a Manaspa even. So Hand Cannoneer, or Halb, Heavy Camel, Hand Cannoneer. And what do Georgians do against that? I think they just hope to have a better economy. And now Leary kind of in the map control stage, where Hera has been at the top of his hill for so long, he's slowly but surely going to be running out of gold there, and needing to venture into the middle of the map, only 1k gold left. And Leary can try to take fights and control the rest of the map here. Camels could maybe even try to destroy the fortified church. Guilds, Blast Furnace, Bowsaw on the way for Leary. I still think Leary's in a good spot. Well, the only question is, how insane will the Georgians' late game eco be if Hera can drag this out? They're getting raided again. Using OBS mask. Hello, Soxy. Hoping for a game 6. Hoping for a game 7. I mean, you can go the distance, right? So, church going down. Oh, he's just going to build another church. These things go up so fast. And you can lose them, and who cares? The fortified churches really need to be nerfed somehow. This building is crazy. Oh, just build 2 churches. You have wood. I mean, late game is literally, you could build just dozens and dozens of these things everywhere. It's so hard to raid the Georgians. And Leary wants that gold, but his castle, he wanted it on that little hill, not quite close enough to protect it. If only he could do his own fortified church there. Churches, I will agree with you in criticizing the design of the churches. The gameplay balance of them. I feel like they're not as bad as Shriramshriders, but maybe a bigger balance problem. Yeah, safer than TCs, right? So, but here we are. Hand Cannon, Halb, Camel. This is what Leary wanted to work towards. And I think the only other question is, does he try to add Hussars in to get more raids? Still has a lot of map control for gold. There's still gold on the map. Leary could move forward and mine the one by the lake. Maybe chop those trees, delete the house, and get a couple mining camps there. He's moving forward with Trebs on the side, but every time he destroys a fortified church, Hera just builds another one. Pushing up the hill in the middle. Hera can keep retreating to the hills, doesn't need to force fights on the low ground. We'll try to get hand cannons, but tricky position for him. Has a couple of exposed Trebs, but close enough to the castle. Leary probably won't try to dive them. And Leary, what is that fight? That was, for a while, he was running and not fighting. Manaspa's on the hill trying to take a fight. But as the numbers go down, the fights will get better for the camels. And, well, I'm sure Leary happy to take a fight that's in front of the Trebs, because the Trebs will be working there. Trebs will be working on the other side. That'll be a castle down. Castle down will stop Manaspa production. Trebs will go for the mule cart. Oh, look at that shot on the mule cart. And then go for the church. And that'll force Hera. Well, it'll force him off gold, but he finishes the gold. He's going to try to get another castle to the side to protect his wood control. What are all those monks? Leary, where's the devotion, Leary? Leary fighting monks and he's not devoted. Trebs again going for a church. Resources 2k ahead for Leary so far. He's also slightly ahead in KD. Pulling ahead now, 2.5k ahead in score. Al was picking off Manaspas. Like a 1x1 upgrade? I feel like that would make it really tricky to click the upgrades for all of them, but I mean, yeah, that might be a way to do it. Kind of like the Age of Mythology heroes. For the Atlanteans. Can you convert churches? No, they're just like monasteries. You can't convert them. Which I guess is another thing that makes them even stronger than towers. So Treb's coming around for Leary. He did see Hera has that castle on the side. Ooh, he's trying to group up the Trebs again. How many freaking churches does Hera have? Okay, those are bare. I thought those were church foundations for a second. So he's going to be going Halb, and that means hand cannons will be useful. And oh, looks like Hera's just going to call the GG. Leary will do it. 2-3. All right, quick. Check the stats. Check the stats. Better KD. More resources. Imp time would have been better had he had the university earlier. GG, and we get a clean feed. There we go. Oh, wait, no. I need to transition. There we go. There's Leary drinking from his water. Drinking from his water. What is that knee? That's an arm camera. That's because I have the cameras cropped, but when they swap their scenes, it doesn't automatically swap my camera too. Doing my best. So that's now a 2-3 deficit for Leary, but he did win on Acropolis, which was one of Hera's home maps. Now Rocky Forest and Khmer, the final maps. That's Persians over Georgians. So what is this draft? Again, just gonna get the ads out of the way in between the games. Apologies on Twitch, you can view on YouTube without the ads. Alright, so what is this draft situation? Home day every day for Leary. So he has, oh, that is in Chinese. I'll swap to my scoreboard for a second so we can view the draft not in Chinese. We'll have Khmer and Rocky Forest, the remaining maps. Leary has Armenians, Japanese, and Lithuanians against Hera with Koreans, Jurchens, and Romans. So, ooh, I mean, 3 civs and no idea which order Leary's going to pick them for. They're all good water maps, but also each with their early drush benefits for Rocky Forest. Does Hera go Jurchens for Rocky Forest? He has to go Romans there. I mean, for Hera, it's going to be Romans, Rocky Forest, and Koreans for Khmer, I think? Well, thanks for watching, Underreal, but let's not be mean to Nilly. Only pathfinding comments. Rocky Forest, again, a map that you can't wall your woodlines early on, which could make the mule carts for Armenians nice. I'm still looking for Leary to do like a double mule cart wall to keep his lumber eco safe. All right, now that we've seen this in English, we can go back to the clean feed. Oh, we have an interview. Who are these people? I don't know. Chat, who are these people getting interviewed? Where are Hera? Where are Leary? They're taking a break between the games. Alright, I'll just put the scoreboard up then. I'll take a quick break and run to the restroom myself. Alright, we're back. Did I miss anything, chat? Did I miss anything? We suddenly gained 100 viewers. Okay, I guess because they had an interview. He's the Chinese League of Legends host. Oh, okay. I do not watch League of Legends. And Tonufi, thank you very much for the follow. Also, Dwayne, thank you for the follow. So is this like that time we had Artosis host an AoE2 event? Yeah, also, I know Deduzu is watching. I don't know if we have a crowd shot of him somewhere. You might recognize him from some tournaments. He had to give an admin win in his Stronghold Frenzy set because he traveled to the LAN, was planning on playing the set on his laptop in his hotel, but forgot to bring his mouse with him. And rather than attempt to play on a laptop trackpad, he gave an admin win. What if all the Chinese League players started playing AoE 2? Then we'd probably have a sudden huge influx of AoE 2 players. There's a lot more porosity. What does porosity mean? That's a good word. It's the measure of the void of spaces in a material defined as the ratio of the volume of these voids to the total volume of the material, expressed as a fraction between 0 and 1, indicating how much empty space is present within a substance. Must be bored of finals since he's playing a ranked game. What? Oh man, maybe he found a mouse. It would be nice if they got like the tournament maps in the map pool during the tournament. I feel like having them afterwards kind of defeats the purpose. I want to see house put on the ranked map pool. That would be scary. Especially if it's sudden death. I was told 3 months in advance. And then there's also the question, like, if you're making maps for the map pool, like, that feels like you're just doing free work for them if you're giving them maps. Like I would honestly expect some type of significant compensation if they're actually adding a script to the game. Why are so few streamers covering it? Because it's Sunday in Germany, so Nilly is off, I guess. He streamed the semifinals and had to leave for the finals. T90 and Dave just haven't covered any of it because it's at a horrible time zone for Americans. And I woke up, saw that this was happening at 7:30, and started casting it. It is kind of just a time zone issue for the event. And when he means few, I think he means that T90, Dave, and Nilly are not streaming. Heading covering the whole tournament but the finals. Yeah, you gotta respect Sunday in Germany. Anyway, so it is Rocky Forest, Leary going for the Armenians. Armenians versus Romans. Advantage for the Armenians will be the mule cart on these wood lines. Thank you, Hulik, for the follow. And potentially no Armenians on Khmer then, but he does have Japanese and Lithuanians. I feel like I prefer his Civ picks for that map. But Romans will be a tough Civ to deal with on Rocky Forest. They do have a really good eco, 5% faster, everything. But the ability to keep the mule cart on the wood line will be great for Leary. And I still do want to see this. The double mule cart wall on the edge of the wood line should keep you safe in case you see a drush or anything. Probably really hard to get it positioned properly, but if you do, you'll be safe. Ornlu sleeps in Chicago. It is, I mean, Ornlu is an hour to the west of me. So it would be only 9:30 a.m. for him. These games would have started at 6:30 for him. I think Danny woke up at an ungodly hour to cast the semifinals. I mean, what happens Legionaries versus Champions? So there's Loom for Leary. Is he going up right now, 18 vils? He doesn't quite have the food for it. Bit of idle time for him. Right, there he goes, up 6 seconds of idle time. 3 on wood, and he's up doing the barracks. Hera up a vil faster even. Roman's OP. 18 vils with Loom for him. Or no, 17 vils with Loom for him, 18 pop. 1 extra vil for Leary. And there's no aggressive drushing. This is where I think the Romans have a slightly better economy. Leary will get plus 40% effect from his mule cart tax. So if he can get double bit axe right away, maybe that helps his eco. Yeah, and then the charge attack from committed tenseis. But then the champions have so much HP from the Armenians if they do get Feriders. That's plus 30. Versus the Legionaries. Who with, committed tenseis. Will train faster and have a charge attack. Armenians, I mean, composite bowmen then should be good against Legionaries. But then the Romans go Scorpions. And what do Armenians do against Roman Scorpions? They might just die. Onager without siege engineers. So 3 militia forward and it will be men-at-arms. Maybe feudal longswords is the answer for Leary? Let's see what he can cook up. We'll have a stable for Hera. And yeah, maybe Hera's goal is just to get to Scorpions this game. Men-at-arms on the way. Again, this is a best of finals, game number 6. Leary needs to win to force a game 7. Hera wins this and it's over. Armenians have a high win rate against the Romans, do they? Maybe it's the mid game where they can dominate. If it gets late game, I feel Romans... Well, maybe about late game, the mule cart tech bonuses pays off more than 5%. And now, oh my gosh, Hera cannot wall this wood line. And the men-at-arms are gonna get in. Hera is forward with the scout, he's not at home. And Leary, where's he going? Scouts hoovering, I mean, the men-at-arms hoovering around. He's not jumping the vils. He's so worried about that one spear in the back. Why is Leary not jumping this? That's giving Hera time to get scouts out. Ooh. Okay, he's attacking the lumber camp? So far, Hera's eco has not been disrupted at all. And Pirdiv, thank you for the follow. Going for the spear. Attacking the scouts. And those men-at-arms accomplished nothing. They'll attack and they'll kill a few scouts, right? So in the long run, they will still kill scouts. But they get cleaned up. That's not even a scratch on those vils. And feels like a wasted men-at-arms push. Here I am thinking Leary's going to massacre vils and win the game, but he didn't engage. He was more worried about the army numbers from Hera. And now he's down a vil thanks to idle time. Being extra cautious, getting out some spears now to deal with scouts. We've seen how effective Hera can be in running the scouts around. Leary's swapping over to archers now. Trying to go spear archer. The scouts should make the gameplay really smooth for Hera, who's adding in farms around his TC, doing his own range now. He can add in skirms or thinking about going to gold for arch of his own. And as more scout numbers climb, we're going to see Hera get more raids on the wood lines. So just like a repeat of the last game, scout raids everywhere. He's trying to dance with the weak scout. Hopefully he didn't hit the weak scout. AoE stats is down, but you think it's 50-50 Romans Armenians. Okay. I'm not sure what to think of the matchup other than heavy scorpions for Romans in the late game. Feel like Armenians will be helpless. Man, and Leary went for that early range. I wonder if Leary would have just followed up with more men-at-arms. Now he's going long swords, but it feels like that's horrible when he only has 1 man-at-arms left. He doesn't have the numbers he wanted. I guess the good thing is he is forcing skirms from Hera, and that will make the longsword transition viable. But Feudal Age longswords, when he lost those men-at-arms, imagine he'd just gone full-on men-at-arms. Maybe that means Hera then goes archers instead and has a better counter to them. Should have gotten 1 to 2 spears out. Yeah, or maybe just gotten the spears forward faster? Not sure. I mean, if you are gonna play it like you're not gonna engage on the vills right away, you should probably do spears before clicking the men-at-arms upgrade, because then as the spear comes forward, you do them in parallel. You save some time. If you're doing men-at-arms immediately, I feel like you're kind of forcing yourself to dive the vills in some ways. And now a minute of vital time, so Hera pulling ahead in vills. Res collected still pretty similar though, and Lyri at least is benefiting from that extra double bit axe. And he's hiding the longswords. Where's he going? Oh my gosh, is Lyri gonna go around the outside? He's gonna sneak longswords around the outside. Okay, well he's confident in his micro that he can hold against Hera at the front, while sneaking 3 longswords into the economy. But Hera overwhelming with the scout numbers. The longsword's not here to fight. Lyri has to pull vills. And this had better pay off as the longswords sneak around. And now with the wood line chopped enough, Hera could even do another lumber camp and maybe wall the vills. He's getting close to that point. The timing on this has to be perfect for Lyri. He's throwing up a defensive tower on his wood line. That's going to maybe leave the gold exposed. He's losing everything at home. And look, feels like Hera's on his way to winning. He's going to avoid the tower and head straight for the gold. Vil could be picked off there. TC doesn't get the shot to hit. And there's a scout and three longswords. I feel like 3 longswords won't be enough. There's Hera going for that next lumber camp. He's a tile or 2 away from being able to wall the vills in. Skirm's able to harass the vills on the mining camp. Maybe we'll have to extract them somehow. Was not able to defend at home. Maybe was late and greedy and not getting the tower up. But here he comes. If Hera sees this, he quick walls. And now the longswords are there. And these longswords have to do a lot of damage. That's 1 vil. Hera doing wheelbarrow behind this. That'll make his vills faster when they try to run away. There's a second vil. And is this enough? That scout's weak to the point Hera can turn and fight it. He's trying to get a scout over. This will be maybe a 3rd vil. Okay, that's 3 vils down. Okay, Lyri making something happen. Yeah, he can't run into the TC. He can't run into the TC. He loses a longsword to the TC. Ooh, that makes it so much trickier to fight. Hera's going to try to hoover around with the scout. Longswords will try to hit the skirm. And they'll still do damage to these scouts back here. But at home, he's trying to get some longswords to defend now. Well, he does have a vil lead. His collectors are still close. So maybe he just got enough value from that he can defend at home now with longswords and skirms. But the skirm numbers are climbing for Hera. And some interesting decision-making from Lyri early on, not engaging with the men-at-arms, and I feel like he really didn't get value out of the initial ones. It was great until the TC dive, right? And even someone of Lyri's eco, if you've ever run your army into the TC and lost it, remember, Lyri does it too. And remember, Hera still hasn't placed a tower, so he still has the option to place it. And he's ahead in skirms, and being ahead in skirms in feudal feels like you win even against longswords. Is there, what, can they do squires in the feudal age now? Is that in the feudal age? They can do armor. And that feeling when longswords even need armor to fight skirms effectively. They'll cut the damage in half, so I'm good to get armor. Actually kind of necessary. And like in a straight up fight, longsword skirm would win, but the problem is Hera's not going to take a straight up fight. He's going to run around and dodge and micro. And there's the armor. That'll make them much more effective now. Hera able to disrupt those farms. Mill had been by the berries for the farms. Maybe the farms could have been... I mean, the farms are already double layered in the back. Hera is also looking at his res count. He's getting close to clicking up. Okay, finally a longsword fight though, killing some scouts. Skirm is being forced back. If the skirms have a turn to shoot, then they're getting hit by the longswords. Yeah, I feel like the skirm play was anticipating archers from Hera, and hoping that Hera stayed skirm so the longswords would be more effective. I wonder if we could do, let's see, yeah, now this is exactly what Hera wants. The longsword, that sneak that Lyri did earlier, can't happen again because the wood line is chopped enough. And it's walled in. Same thing on the other side, soon he just needs to chop another layer and he'll be safe. So yeah, here goes Lyri again. 3 longswords, but not going to be able to do damage here. 3 HP scout from Hera, and he clicks up. He's up first. Leary not too far behind. Castle Age unlocks Scorpions for the Romans. Going double stable, so maybe Knight plus Skirm plus Scorpion. Maybe the longswords can get in on the gold. Remember, Hera has Wheelbarrow now, so he'll be able to run all the faster away. So Leary will see this is walled. Hera, will he see the longswords? He will see them. Maybe he needs to wall the gold. Yeah, and immediately goes for it. No, he's going to wall the entire map. He's going to wall the entire map. And these longswords will do nothing. Yeah, Leary revealed them too close to the lumber camp, and now they'll get walled out. So Bloodline's on the way for Hera. Leary up, he's doing forging. And he will have two-handed swordsman and champion in the Castle Age. Well, with all those skirms, he can't take this fight. So wanting him to find the gold, he was a bit too late. Runs back over to the wood line. Maybe goes for a palisade. He could loop around and hit the other wood line. That's maybe not chopped enough to wall yet. Well, if Hera doesn't pay attention, then the longswords get in. And he does pay attention. He's microing in the middle enough that longswords died. Too many skirms for Hera. The skirms deal with longswords. That's the problem with longswords. They're countered by skirms. And Leary needing to wall up. He could, okay, mule cart wall. Mule cart wall. And he'll be walled for the most part. Hera just going to hoover at the front, but he has elite skirm. And Bloodline's on the way for Leary. What's he going to go? Double stable knights? He has a couple scouts. But that's 20 military to 10. Leary down by 4 vills. And of course that Roman eco will be working faster. There's light cav. Fortified churches though. Okay, so that'll give him a relic and keep him safe. And scouts are about to break through, but the church will go up. Those can keep the scouts away. Knight coming out as light cav comes in as an upgrade. There'll be a market in the back for Leary. And behind this, Hera, not going to panic. We'll do a TC, even putting it on the berries. Has room on the berries. Yeah, Armenian church is definitely silly, but as I said, the Georgian eco boosting ones are extra silly. They get one relic, and that's it. They don't boost your entire eco. He keeps making groups of longswords and harassing? Maybe. Vills go down. DC will keep shooting at the scouts. We'll have husbandry on the way for Hera. Monk wants a conversion. There's a lot of skirms to deal with the monks. And Hera pulling ahead in eco. Second TC for Leary, but again, much later than Hera's. It feels like the same thing every game. Hera slightly faster to getting the TCs added in. He has ever so slightly better unit compositions to take fights in feudal, and then gets the TCs. Saw this on Lookout, saw this on Bedouins. You even almost saw it on Acropolis, despite the big civ disparity. I kind of saw it on Nomad, too, even. But again, that was a civ difference. If free relic denies the relic win. I guess that matters on hyper random. So another TC coming up down here for Leary. Nice, reading the skirms. Leary kind of holding behind the church, but he's holding now, down 9 vills and down 1.5k resources. It kind of feels like the slow, inevitable win now for Hera, especially if he can get to Roman Scorps in the late game. I still have no idea how Armenians would deal with those corps. They don't even have a good cav to run them down. Oh, so maybe they could run mule carts at the Scorpions. Romans 5% versus Georgians church, which scales better? Georgians are 10% from the churches, right? So if you get churches everywhere, that will be better than 5%. That'll be 10%. The sanctity on the way. That's why late game, I think Georgians have the best eco of any civ from the churches. Romans are up there. But, oh, thank you, Leo Kale. Thank you very much for the sub. Using your civ builder icon. Nice emote. I think thanks to Ugly again for making that emote. Handcart on the way there for Hera. And that'll be a good partner plus counting sub, so thank you. And Hera just hovering around with his knights. Handcart on the way.
Salve.
And Town Watch on the way also for Hera.
Impera. Tibi Servio.
You know what scales really good though? Scale mail armor.
Impera. Eus.
Anyway, Knights in, getting a bit of a raid here from Leary. Especially for the Romans, because they get double benefit from it. And that scales really well. Leary getting quick walled though, and he will be cleaned up. He will be cleaned up. Yeah, and Leary still hasn't gotten any Castle Age eco upgrades, you're right about that. Or Hera with Handcart. So, I mean, Handcart, the extra benefits, you can run your vills from raids more quickly. So it keeps you safer. He's still trying to push, but a wide open exposed TC in the middle of the map, and he doesn't even have the numbers to push that. 11 military to 22. He's trying to do stone for a castle. Maybe there's a world where Leary gets enough military he could YOLO a castle forward. But I don't think that's going to happen. The light cav there to pick off monks in the back. And I think this is Hera overwhelming Leary once again. And there's the double workshop and the beginning of the Scorpion production for Hera. He's on stone, so he'll be able to get a castle and the ballistas fairly soon. Scorpions still will cost minus 60% gold. And we're going to look... Oh, triple workshop. Okay. I was going to say we're going to look for the university and ballistics. There you go. Triple workshop and the university. Needs enough wood to afford ballistics. Can be hard if you're pumping Scorpions, but shouldn't be too big of a deal for him. He's up by 20 vills. And ready to close the game out with some Scorpions. Okay, Hera sees the castle attempt. He will do his own defensive castle, and with the Scorpions on their way out, this will likely be it. Maybe we'll end it with a doubt castle, trying to pick the Scorpions. Maybe he'll get enough of them, but Hera's going to win the castle race anyway. He already has Bodkin. Once that castle goes up, he will kill the Vills, and Leary will call it. And Hera will win 4-2. Congrats to Hera. 79 kills. And they're going to... Okay, more res. Better uptime, better everything. We're just going to swap over to the clean feed. There we are, on a stage. Ooh, GG's. Get your GG's in the chat. There we are. Oh, look at this. This was lovely. Starting at 7:30 a.m. It's not even 11 a.m. I have my entire day ahead of me. All right, Hera. He doesn't know where to go. He's lost. I'm giving him a microphone. Let me see if I can get some audio for you guys. I can do this.
那同时呢，我们也把掌声送给 Larry。Let's give a round of applause for Larry。好的，再次恭喜，那可以来到我们的舞台中央。
It does sound robot.
那在这边呢，也有问题想问到 Hera， 在连续赢下了自己的
Maybe I
第
can refresh the browser source. Maybe that helps.
他的传奇故事仍在续写。
Wait, is this
所以接下来
is
也
this just
想
what it's
问
like?
他，此
Oh
刻
gosh,
有什么
we're
样
gonna
的
turn
感
the
受
audio off.
和我们一同来分享。那
Okay, is it like that on others? It's the feed. Okay, it's the feed. We're just gonna turn that off. We'll turn that off. All right, we'll pretend to listen to what he says. Right? There's Hera. He's probably out there saying, "I'm so thankful for Hart. I credit this victory to him. He picked me up in the woods after I was ambushed and had to run away. My clothes were in tatters, but I made it back to the stage to win." Is that true? I heard a rumor that Hera was running away into the woods from someone who was chasing him, and Hart had to go pick him up. I have no idea if that's true, but I heard that. Oh, the 8-bit voice. Should I attempt again? Maybe we'll have better audio.
So for the first question, obviously first congratulations again, Hera. Your performance has been amazing.
Oh no! Wait, OBS is YouTube's. Am I having a YouTube error? Maybe 8-bit. Whatever this is, it's killing my YouTube stream too. Sounds like he's Joan of Arc from Mission 1. You heard the same story just now on my stream. Not fixed yet. All right, not fixed yet. Do we robot the audio?
But hopefully if I keep it going, I can pass him there. It's not a particular motivation. I was inspired a lot from Viper growing up, so I just feel like I'm continuing his journey and the story baby too. I don't feel like I'm taking anything away from him.
赫拉表示呢
Mem stream doesn't have audio issues? Let me swap. Where are they getting this if not from the clean feed? Hold on. Maybe if I open it in my web browser instead of in OBS. Hold on a second. Maybe we'll try this. No, I'm still getting audio issues there. Is there another stream other than the clean feed? Where's Mem getting his audio from?
好的，再次把掌声送给他。
Okay. Is there another feed? Oh, he's probably watching it from the actual Chinese website. I see Chinese text running around. Does someone have a link to that? Is there like a what even is it? A Douyao stream? Is Happy's around? Does he have it? If I click on Yo's stream, maybe this is it. Oh gosh, what is this? Chat, help me translate. I don't know what I'm looking at. Hold on. If I go here. Wait, no. Let me copy some OBS stuff around real quick. Paste. I do this. Okay. What button do I? What do these buttons say, chat? How do I do this? If I click there, oh, there's a shark. There we go.
Particular tournament.
Can you hear this?
But I think they were really good on the map, and they fit the style that I want to play very nicely. So they worked out well.
我们的这个赫拉选择一步嘴硬不抵抗啊。他虽然打赢了这个比赛，但是也不愿意轻易的把这个功劳让给我们的车老师，有点遗憾。但是他也解释到说啊，这个选博博尔本身是有一定逻辑的，因为博博尔的话，他们这个文明的这种打法，在我们这次这个比赛的这个地图中是有一定优势的。所以呢，因为它比较适合我们这次的这个比赛，所以他会选择去选这个民族。
好的。我最后一个问题就是想问一下，亚哥，就是以后就比如说，假如
I'll try to increase it in OBS maybe.
感觉哪个民族最强
Okay, so
用这个图。
So this is probably a follow-up question from the last one. What civ would you recommend for Bedouins in the future tournaments?
For Bedouins,
Yes.
I think Chinese are the best, but I would recommend the Spanish with the missionaries. I think that was very good.
All right. 那么这个我们的黑鸭首先表示，他认为中国在这个图上可能应该还真正意义上才是第1名，但是他也推荐我们大家如果有兴趣的话，可以挑战一下我们的西班牙毛驴豹。
好了，我没有问题了，恭喜鸭哥。
好的，再次恭喜。那同时呢，我们也给到现场观众2个提问的机会。我们来看一下现场的观众有哪位想要来提问呢？好，那我们左边的这位观众可以来进行提问。
黑鸭你好，那个就是像你所说的，之前采访中所提到的，你在享受比赛，而不是单纯的为了赢。那么
I'm gonna make sure I close my
对
stream
于
and
就是大
my
多数
YouTube
的
chat
这
up.
种不是大多数的这个游戏玩家来说，他们可能并没有那么多的精力或者是时间去精进自己的技术，但他们仍旧想去享受游戏的乐趣。那么你对这样的这个游戏玩家来说有什么建议，或者说想对他们说的话吗？
Oh, the Kuman masks? That's beautiful.
So the question was probably to most of the low elo legends here. You said you most of the time would enjoy to play the game rather than to play for the win. But for most of us, we probably won't have the time or the energy to play like 24/7, quote unquote. But still, we wanna enjoy the game. We wanna enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions, or
X.
would you like to say the players like us?
Honestly, I talk about this a lot, but I think you can enjoy Age of Empires 2 in so many different ways. If you don't have time, you can play campaigns, you can play with friends, you can play against the AI. You can try to improve on the rank ladder, hit 1,000 ELO, 1,200. You can set your own goals and just enjoy the game in so many different ways. I don't think you need to go professional or need to be a competitive player to actually enjoy the game. I think it's to everyone something different. But Age of Empires 2 is an amazing game, and I think you can enjoy it in many different ways.
那么鸭哥表示呢，就是其实呢，即便你们没有足够的时间或者没有足够的精力也是没有关系的。我们的帝国12大家都知道，它并不是一个只有天梯的游戏。你可以选择去挑战天梯，你也可以选择去打单人，跟你的朋友一起玩，打 AI， 打战役。
Resolution down. If you can tell me how to change the resolution here, I will gladly
因为这个
do
游戏
it.
永远不会停止让我们感到惊艳。
I don't know how.
好的，那我们最后还剩到一个问题来给到我们现场的观众。好，有请我们第一排我
I
们
think it might
坐
just be
沙
the
发的
quality
这
of
位
the
先
stream we're
生。
watching.
好，有请工作人员第一个话筒。
我想问一下，帝国这个游戏嘛，他每次都用很多时间去玩。作为职业玩家，玩游戏和
Is your mic louder than the others? It's hard to balance audio sometimes.
我自己比较关心，因为我每次一玩就一大半天，然后老婆就意见很大。
All right, I think this is probably an ultimate question for all the pro players and also for the the people who are eventually married. So the question is, generally, AoE2 is a game that take a long time to play. Whenever you play against AI, against you play on campaign or play on the ladder, it's just sometimes kind of too long to to actually enjoy the game without making it taking up too much of your real life time. So how do you obviously for you AoE2 is more about a work rather than
People having real lifetime?
just
What is
a
that?
hobby. So how do you actually balance it? How do you balance between the game being a pro and between a real life and a gamer or slash a pro player?
I don't know if I'm the right person to answer this because I used to skip school to play Age of Empires, but I guess the right answer and the correct answer is to try to find the balance and split your time accordingly, sometimes to play and sometimes to do other stuff. But honestly, the best case scenario is that you make it a job and you can do it 10 hours a day without feeling guilty.
我们的鸭哥很谦虚啊，他说他自己呢其实并不是一个最合适的问的这个人选，这个可能大家有所不知啊，因为这个我们的鸭哥其实他是退学去打帝国时代的，当然另一方面呢，他也说了啊，我们大家啊玩游戏归玩游戏，大家还是要尽量去掌握一个这个生活平衡，我们要合理使用生活时间。 当然了，如果你真的，对吧，管不住手，或者这个一不小心玩时间过了，你还有一条最后的道路，那就是像他一样，成为可以每天玩10个小时的主播。
好的，再次感谢我们所有的观众的提问。那同时呢，我们接下来有请冲动来为我们的 Hera 来颁发本次帝国时代2凌远杯世界锦标赛的冠军奖牌，有请冲动。Next, please welcome Lex to the stage and pass the trophy to the champion of 凌远 Cup。好的，那接下来有请2位一起来合影留念。Please take a picture together。2位一起来合影留念。好的，那同时呢，也让我们再次感谢 Hera， 再次感谢 Lex， 同时也感谢我们的翻译小哥哥优雅。那同时呢，也让我们再次感谢本次比赛的主办方以及最大的赞助商凌远科技股份有限公司。Now let's thank for the Hera, thanks for the Lex, and thank you for our translator Yoya.
Oh, it's going
thank
past.
you,
You missed the trophy.
And let's give a round of applause to the tournament organizer and larger sponsor, LingYuan Technologies. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Lex is enjoying being there. Nearly tried to stop
谢谢。那各位指挥官们，我们今天所有的比赛到这里就要告一段落了。随着冠军奖牌的颁发，凌远杯帝国时代2世界锦标赛也正式落下帷幕。从积分赛的步步为营，一直到半决赛的惊心动魄，再到决赛的巅峰对决。每一位选手的操作都诠释了帝国时代2的魅力，每一场比赛也给我们留下了最难忘的回忆。感谢所有的参赛选手全。
Oof. All right, so thank you all for tuning in. I'll take this scoreboard. Let me get this over. 4-2. Let me update the final map. We won Rocky Forest. And that was Romans against Armenians. What is flying on the top of the screen? I don't know. I don't understand the Chinese streaming platforms. My apologies, but I don't understand how they work. I remember years ago, during the Escape Gaming events, I had to send messages to Tim. And I watched his chat as he would copy and paste the messages into Google Translate, and his chat would help him try to translate them. So let's see. I think we're done here. I'll raid someone on Twitch. Thank you all for watching. It was insane the viewer numbers we had for this. There was wild stories on the after party. You gotta ask Viper about those for his Chinese LAN days. So thank you all for watching. We'll go raid someone. Let's see who is still online, who is casting this, or maybe someone who wasn't online. We can raid. And we'll send a raid over to Sato, I think, on Twitch. So we'll end the stream on YouTube. Thank you all for watching. And we'll go send a raid over too. So was there no third place game? No, they did both semifinals and the finals today, so they did not have time to fit in a third place match. There's a short show match with some of the other players who were there to fill time and give Leary a break between the two sets. But yeah, no third place match. So, all right, we'll be done for today. As I said, 11 a.m. and I got my day ahead of me. So see y'all later. Have a great day and go